let's redo 6 and make 6 good, because 6 was shit.
I always think that redoing games is perfectly fine if you sell them at a discounted price, like $20 for something you've already paid for. And I know, but that's the thing. If you update the graphics, you make it better for new monitor types, you maybe add some extra looks and prettiness to it, whatever, but you sell it, don't put that much time into it. Don't remake the game, just make it look good in discounted price. I can see it.
That's what I don't mind so much with the Resident Evil games, because they are 20 plus years, so it's worth getting remade. But I remember when the PS3 came out and we had Last of Us come out right on the PS3, and the PS4 came out oh, we're gonna go ahead and release some remastered version of Last of Us. Yeah. I'm like, it literally came out 4 months ago. I don't know.
I could see, my example is, it actually was pretty good, still pricey, but you got a lot with it, was the Mass Effect Legendary. They didn't really do a whole lot to it. They updated the first and second one a little bit. The third one didn't do a lot because it looked good, but they gave you all the content, DLCs, the games, everything for $60, so technically $20 per game. That was good. I liked it. But
I mean, you can't deny it though, just from the trailer itself here, it does look very pretty, and I think 4 is the one that was the fan favorite the most, because it was new and it was that really nice graphics back in the day. And I know a lot of people that are in the podcast world and whatnot that are saying that they don't like it because they're going to he has a crouch feature now and a stealth feature, so there's certain things that they're putting in from new games into that game, and it's
putting new mechanics in it. Yep.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think there's things in that game that would be great from that. But there's also things like we just was talking about before we started this. Resident Evil 7 and 8 were good games, but I don't feel like they're as good as thought out story as these ones. So they're let's bang on the stuff that we know is good.
Yeah.
I think the story as a tiny little world of its own was pretty good. It had some cool twists and everything, but the overarching connecting with the rest of Resident Evil doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And then let's be honest, I don't really care about them remaking 4 or 5 right now. Let's get a remake of the best one, and that's Code Veronica, and let's remake that like nobody's business.
I've heard a lot of people who are like, where the hell is Code Veronica?
It was such a good game, and it just, I don't know. I don't know if it just came out poor timing or what it was, but I love that game. It's amazing.
You know, another game I wish they would kind of redo,
Super
but
Mario
also...
World.
Well, no. But also maybe make some new and better games, or make something with that world more so, is Silent Hill. I wish they could do something with that.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like right now the only closest thing you're going to get to anything like that is the what's the same universe as Control?
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake. Kind of like, yeah.
Sorry.
No, we'll also be getting into that one too, because that's one of my favorites. So,
Yeah.
Resident Evil, March 24th, 2023. Whether you're gonna like it or not, like, it looks pretty. It's gonna be a big hit no matter what. So we'll see. Like,
They better
how
have
it
the
goes.
same damn voice actor for the fucking merchant. That's all I know. Better.
What
are you
buying?
What are you selling?
Like, if they'll have that guy's voice, I don't even want to play it.
You're gonna get somebody who's like, "Hello, good chap. What are you buying from me?"
They'd be the
No.
fat guy from Resident Evil 8. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Oh, Ethan Winters. It's like, oh no.
Like, I enjoy that guy, but
He's not the merchant.
and he mentioned the merchant, so like,
Oh yeah, that's right. He did.
yeah, he did the whole like, what are you selling? And it's like, that's coming from one of my friends.
Well, the next one that's on the list is actually I did not get to play the Dead Space series because I'm a scaredy cat and I don't like to be scared. But this is from the director of Dead Space, and that one is the Callisto Protocol, which is coming out in December of this year, December 2nd. It's a new studio of his, a new survival horror. It looks a lot like Dead Space. It's basically 2320. You're in a prison, and this alien race comes in, and it kind of attaches to the humans, and you are just trying to get out. Of course. Oh no, Nathan, you're not in there.
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know.
No, it's okay. I'm not important anyways.
It's okay. And on this one, it's fine. On the big one, you are though, so you'll just be. But here's the trailer for the Callisto Protocol. Again, Dead Space. So the nice thing that I liked about the whole thing was that he says that he didn't want an interface around the sides of the game. He wanted to make it as
HUD.
Into it as possible. So your gun, of course, has the little screen on it that shows you how much ammo you have. But then it also has on the back of his neck is your health. So there's no bars, no nothing around you. And he even has his own horror team.
I was like, I want that kind of team.
But they're the ones that like go in and say like, what kind of sounds can we put in this that makes it sound like really cool? Like all of these different things.
Yeah, he did a good job with that in Dead Space too. Like Dead Space had a lot of that feature. You had the thing going down your spine that was your health bar, and a lot of your weapons showed it all.
I think Dead Space kind of got boring because they just didn't put much more of a story in after the second one. But it's a good one
too. He just did the first one.
The second one was the best one.
Yeah, the first one he did it, and then he went on to make Sledgehammer games, and now he started this one.
I remember Sledgehammer.
Yeah. But it looks really good, and again, I really like that little gameplay that they put on E3 that showed that it's just you and your gun. There's nothing on the screen to take you out of that like immersion. It's just like you are in this game. You are running around with a bunch of aliens trying to kill you. And that's terrifying to me, and it's super dark, and I don't like scary stuff, so...
You know what I'm going to do throughout this whole game as I play it? Every time I pull my gun out, and I pull out my gun! Oh, Jesus! No, I'm hoping it's going to be good. Like, I really like the first Dead Space, but I felt like the first Dead Space really leaned on the jump scares of that game. The story was not bad. It was a new game. And the second one came out, and they really did, like, a good job of having a great game that was, like, more... word that I want to use, like there was more like anticipation, more like
build
fear
up
that way, like the build up of the fear was there, not so much like
well, I think it's because the first game, it was just the fact of what they were and what they looked like was just terrifying, and that jump scares were enough to scare you. Second one, it was like that, kind of like Aliens, that dread of like you don't know where it's at, you just slowly know it's going to come after you.
Because the second game, you had the one where the drills go in your eye and you had to like stop it. It was like, oh my god.
Or the one where you actually let it go. Is that the third one where you actually let it go into your eye?
No,
or
it was the same scene. Like if you messed up, it went all the way in your eye. Yeah, it's killed you.
Mm-hmm. No. A lot of people couldn't do that scene because I didn't like it either. Just
the third one was just okay. Like the third one had a really cool like first-person shooter, third-person shooter like aspects of the game, but the story was meh. But
I never played the third.
Like I remember the collector's edition for Dead Space came with like the little cool railgun that you had.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I still have that somewhere in my house.
Oh god, it was so cool. The nice thing I think is that like it is like one of those horror games and stuff, but like. He said that there's not going to be horror.
Yeah, you might want to make sure you add that last or to it.
Yeah, horror.
HORROR. He says that there are going to be those like jump scares.
Horrorist.
Just say scary.
Yes, scary games.
So it's like you're saying a kind of weird roar, like horror. There you go.
No. He says that there are going to be some jump scares, but like. He's going to try and make it to where, like, it's not so much the jump scare, it's more of the experience around you. That's a beautiful cup.
Thank you.
But otherwise, I think that's going to be a really cool game. I really do like scary games. It's just that I can't play them very well. I used to play Silent Hill with my dad's trimmer because I didn't want the little monkey things that, like, make the noise to jump out of my TV when I was a kid, so I had that to, like, protect me. Not so good. But the next one that we had on the list is the Street Fighter 6. I'm not showing a trailer for that. It's Street Fighter. While it's a great fighting game, it's just another
trailer
Street
doesn't
Fighter.
do anything.
Start seeing fun things like Ryu, so you start having like a dad bod, like no muscles, just a little bit fatter. He's already got the beard, so now he just needs like sweatpants.
All right, kids, I'm getting too old for this. New Balance is with the socks up above.
Or make it a skin for him at least or something.
Yeah, you gotta have some fun with it.
Hold on.
And Bison's in a wheelchair now and just like
he's like Professor X now. He's got all the mind psychic powers.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I mean personally my favorite fighting game is Soul Calibur, but like it is what it is. I'm not gonna get another one of those probably.
Soul Calibur went.
No, you will eventually. It'll just come up out of nowhere.
4 was good, but
yeah, I like 3 the best.
My problem with all fighting games, they get older real quick. Like I'm not one of those people that can keep playing. I can play a fighting game for like a month, and I don't ever need to play.
The biggest ones are gonna be Mortal Kombat. It's just like hard to beat that one.
Yeah, so it's just another fighting game. It is what it is. Street Fighter 6, there's a new character on there. Jamie, Luke might as well be because he was from 5, and they showed those off. Chun-Li's still in it and all that stuff, so it's a fighting game. It is what it is. The next game that was on the list for them was Stormgate. No, that wasn't in there. The next one they had was Final Fantasy 16. Now, okay, so here's the deal. I love Final Fantasy. I will say till my dying day, like if it has an art book and a soundtrack, I'm gonna buy the special edition. The only problem is, this doesn't feel like Final Fantasy anymore to me. You can throw Ifrit, you can throw Shiva and all that stuff. But
Well, just to help a little bit.
Shiva.
Just to help a little bit with the audience to kind of know, both of you are pretty well versed in Final Fantasy. Tell me why it's starting to not feel. What is it lacking?
Well, so
What's changed so much since
so,
like
for
10?
me, like Final Fantasy was always really awesome. Like it had a really good story. There was amazing cutscenes, and you actually had like a really good build up. I don't feel like I've had like. I can't even think like even like from 10 on. I don't feel like there's always been a good build up. Like even what was the one with like the judges? Was that 12?
12, yeah.
12 was okay.
Yeah.
Was it mostly lacking in the story or the characters or
It was more story than anything.
It was really story. Like,
but 12, you could do the little like things where it would like automate your character's actions.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally set it up to where your characters could play your game while you're at home. I literally would put my PlayStation controller, wrap a rubber band around it, so my guy would run in circles.
Yeah.
And I would come home, my people would be like level 87.
Yeah.
And then all you had to do was just have them automatically heal your party, attack a certain way, play certain spells. It just, I don't know.
It was very like overpowered to just have them in. There was a specific area in the sand that you just kept going like in a circle.
I mean, all games have had that exploit at some point.
Sure as that may be. So here's what I'm gonna say. That's his reasoning. My reasoning is because, and I know it's a stupid reason, Nobuo Uematsu's last game was Final Fantasy 11. 12 didn't feel like a Final Fantasy to me, and then 13 you had to go through 10 chapters to even get to a good point.
And it wasn't even that great of a point.
It really wasn't at all.
And then they did like what was it, 13 like
2.
13-2, yeah, and then 13-3. And then 14 came out, and for those of you who don't know, 14 was shit-tastic.
So they redid it.
Yeah, they redid it, and like it was fine after the redo, but the first one was hot garbage.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 and then
A Realm Reborn is the new one. Now here's another fancy thing. Who else did they bring back into it? Nobuo Uematsu. They brought him in to do some of the soundtrack for 14, and they were like, you know what, let's make this for the fans, and I think that it turned out really good. 15, it's just a joyride with your bros.
Not even joyride with your bros. It's a joyride with New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, whatever you want, whichever one you want to go with. It was literally you as a boy band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I will say, like I said, when I played some of it too, I felt the combat was kind of fun. It was whatever. That doesn't carry a game. The summons were fun to watch when they came in, but I do remember, especially even watching you just running around in the desert for like hours, trying to find stuff to
what's
do.
his name? The found a new recipe.
Yeah.
Guy. Every time I would cast like lightning or something like that, like Thundara,
he would get stuck in it.
he would go in it and then he'd come out blackened, and I'm like, you knew better. I showed where I was gonna throw it down, and you were like, huh, and went out there, and you come back, you're like, I need healing. It's like,
there was a cookbook in there, and he had to go get it.
No, he put his food in there and they got cooked.
He was like, oh no, you're gonna shark my potatoes.
God.
No,
Either way,
We didn't want them mashed.
I think a big problem too with this game is gonna be the Final Fantasy, the Pixel like remaster collection. It's been so good. It's been so fun playing those games again, and then you're gonna have this hot garbage coming out. And
Rewrite it.
But wow, you did so good with
You know,
1
if I,
through 7.
you know what's that?
I like 8 and 9.
I really like 9. 9 maybe is my favorite. I think it was a sleeper because it came out right at the end of PlayStation 1.
Yeah, everybody was like, ooh, 10, they're gonna be talking. It's like, no.
But 9 was so good. I hate 7, honestly, and it's not even that 7's a bad game. It's just that it's so overly light because it was like people's first introduction of Final Fantasy. Like people finally was like, oh, I'm gonna try this system out. Oh, Final Fantasy's a good game. But no one says like as soon as you leave Midgar, you don't do shit for like 37 hours.
Babble and drool.
You know, the funny thing is, currently new Final Fantasy game, Stranger of Paradise, actually has been getting good reviews compared to some of the other mainline Final Fantasies because it's like its own little world and it's a good little story. So,
well, like what was the other game Square Enix did for the Switch?
Switch?
The Octopath Traveler.
The DS.
Bravely Default.
Bravely Default.
That one's awesome, and then they got another one that came out too.
Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
Those are
amazing, and they went back to kind of old school Final Fantasy feeling to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was solid, and I don't know, like, they're just going for wow factor. Like, we made this look amazing. You know what the problem is? It's Final Fantasy Spirits Within. That movie looked amazing, but the story was hot trash.
You know, I will even argue, like I said, the summons are fun looking.
He's not wrong, and you all cannot say that he's wrong.
I still feel like what I said about Final Fantasy 15, like the summons were kind of cool and all that stuff, but I do agree with like 10 and before had some neat art styles and some good colors and stuff like that, but like 13 was all weird, kind of like a sepia color, and then 15 was just all black and white. It's crystal.
I remember when 13 first came out, the trailer, the big thing was that they had like that new engine, and the eyes looked real, the hair looked real, it looked beautiful. Be a
really cool game.
Yeah.
You didn't do shit for 10 chapters.
Yeah.
And your whole party was never together until like chapter 12.
Yeah.
Like, what the shit?
It was not fun at all. I'd say, like, if it's a single-digit Final Fantasy, I will absolutely love it. I love 6, I love 2, I love 7, I like 8, 9, like
8 would have been really good without the draw system.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know, like, the draw system is not the worst thing ever, but
it's not the best.
It's maybe the worst fight system I think Final Fantasy's had.
Yeah. It wasn't the most fun as far as that goes, but I did enjoy, like, the story base of it.
Then, hold on, if you're going to start remastering Final Fantasy games too, like, where is my Tactics? Like, Final Fantasy Tactics was amazing.
Yeah.
And we need more of it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it looks pretty. You got, like, all the summons and stuff, and I feel like in this trailer they're trying to throw out those, like Shiva, Odin, Bahamut, Ifrit. Like, cool, you're throwing out all the summons and stuff because the crystals and everything are important and all that stuff, but it's like, those summons aren't going to save you. I need more. I don't care about that. I want it to be a fun game to play. And then, of course, there's that guy who I swear looks just like the Final Fantasy 14 guy. I don't know why, but either way, that was kind of like Sony's. They had a few more, like they had some VR, like the Horizon VR game and all that stuff. More remakes, Spider-Man and all that stuff. Now, I was hoping to see some Final Fantasy VII news, but they had their own thing for like the anniversary edition, and they have now announced that it's going to be a 3-parter. So the next one's coming out next winter. Crisis Core is coming out this winter.
Are we gonna get a Dirge of Cerberus game?
So here's the deal. I will be Square Enix. If you're listening in on this, I swear to God, if you do not have Vincent in the second one, I will do some terrible things. Like, Vincent, Sid, and Cloud were my team playing that game. If you, like, Red 13 is not a playable character. Kate Sith, or however you want to say his name, is not a playable character. Like, what's her name? It's Yuki. It's not Yuki.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of her.
Yeah, the ninja girl. She had her own DLC. She's the ninja girl. She had her own.
Did you ever get to play it?
What? Yeah.
I didn't play the DLC.
So it's her own little like story, and it's got this other guy in there, and they're like, their story's happening the same time that 7 is happening. So she never actually gets in with the main people, but she kind of does her own little thing around town. But like, she's not a playable character until you get the DLC. I don't care if it's a DLC or not, but you have to have Vincent in there because, spoiler alert, not really a spoiler because it's an old game. That's Sephiroth's dad. Like, you gotta have something in there.
His dad.
It's his daddy. It's my dad. So, you gotta have Vincent in there somewhere. I don't really care how you do it. I just think it's really funny that they're doing Crisis Core again. And if you don't know this, the bad guy Genesis in Crisis Core is actually a Japanese singer who legit still looks like that character to this day. And that was like years ago, like decades ago. And he still looks like that because he doesn't age. I think he's a vampire. That is my theory.
No, I really want Square Enix to do the same thing that happened when they made Final Fantasy the first time. Like, oh no, we're going to go out of business. Let's make a really good game so we don't. And this is our last hope.
The problem is they know they're not going to go out of business. That's why they're doing this.
I don't care. I just...
Their whole vision is completely reversed.
Yeah. And there's some things from the Final Fantasy remake that I wish they don't do from here on out. Like, there's just some stuff that was just pointless in that damn game.
Yeah.
All those like the little stupid side quests, like Johnny's lost. Can you go look and sit it out alley and go see if you can find him? Oh no, they're used to taking Rex.
This person sold their necklace to pay off their debt. Go get that necklace back. Well, I won't give you that necklace back until you go and get me this piece I need. It's like,
yeah. And this piece I need is gonna be done on go and kill 2 hippos and then fuse it together and make it into a single symphony. I don't know. There was dumb things to it.
I would agree. Yes.
And then the dance scene.
Ah.
No.
I love it.
The problem is I'm the person who's like, all right, I got 100% this thing, so I did that thing like 400 times.
I loved that one. So you also have Mark Hamill as the Dawn.
Yeah, the main owner of the place.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but Mark Hamill can do no wrong.
It's true. It is very true.
He literally shit on the new Star Wars movies during press releases for the new Star Wars movies, and they didn't say shit about it. They're like, okay.
I mean, it's Mark Hamill.
I mean,
what are we gonna say?
Skywalker.
So what are you gonna say? Sorry, I didn't come to your liking, but whatever. All right, so the next one that they had was Summer Games Fest. That one had some cool little ones here and there. The first one they showed was Alien Dark Descent. I don't really care about the Alien series. The last game they had was okay, apparently. And so
the first one they did, like the Marines one,
was awful.
Is it still like another? Is it still gonna be like you don't really fight it? You just run away and hide from it?
No,
it's a full co-op thing where you.
The last game that was out for it, not the Aliens one. It was actually like Marines something. I forget the name.
Yeah.
The Marine like Space Ops or whatever.
Kind of, yeah. You were actually a Marine. You had your guns and you fought everything. So it was enjoyable to an extent, but it was just very unreplayable. And that was the whole point. Was you're supposed to keep playing it over and over and over, like round-based combat. And this one, I think, is going to be a little bit of a hybrid. It's going to be the fighting and all that stuff, but you're not going to be able to just have like infinite ammo and just do all this stuff. You kind of have to balance. You're going to have an enormous wave or a really deadly one. You can't just like shoot everything down a tunnel. There's more like hide and seek involved with it, which is okay if they do it right. I think it'll make it more of an Aliens game.
I think they could make a solid Aliens game if they just would go like full-fledged. Let's make a good single-player action type game. Like it could be a Call of Duty action game for all I give a shit, and it would be a solid game.
Yeah. This one's supposed to be like your little 4 co-op, and you're going through, and you're they found an alien, and therefore they have to like.
A game they really should model after is when you know because you've seen some YouTubers play it. Get the fuck out, yeah. Get the fuck out's a really good survival horror space shooter game. Like you have to. I don't even call it survival, but like you can't go guns blazing at all times. You have to set up an attack. No,
I cannot. I've watched people play it, and it's like, man, I will fuck my team over so hard. No,
every
I'm not
game
gonna
you
do that. That's true. That's
I mean,
very
it makes
true.
sense though, because if you think about these super mutant aliens that are almost impossible to kill, you have to think about how you're going to do it, and that would be fun. But
one person has a gun on there that actually shows like where the things are. It's like a little radar.
Yeah.
I could be that person.
Yeah, I mean that was in the movies.
Until you go down and first every time, and then we don't have.
Well, that's
radar.
why you all have to go through the door first.
I mean, the person who carried the radar usually was the first person to die. They're like, oh no, they're all where do they go? Oh!
That's true.
It's
fine.
Okay,
Don't
it's
give me that gun.
canonically accurate.
Do not give me that gun, Lynn. So the next one that's on the list, I think this one's going to be a huge one, and it's Stormgate. And that one we've actually got the trailer up for that, just because I think it's freaking hilarious that it is from the same dev team and whatnot that Blizzard had to do StarCraft and everything.
Well, no, it's not the same dev team. It's a lot of people from that dev team and other companies.
Yeah.
It's the company that is making this is a conglomerate from people, other companies.
Yeah. So.
You know, it's weird today. Me and him's got our computers, and you don't.
I don't. Well, I actually have a big computer.
The
so
computer.
I feel
Yeah,
like
but you don't have one on the table. So I remember mine this time, and you didn't bring yours down. I feel like it needs to be there just as a piece of our set. You know?
I have the big one though, so this is different. But this is Stormgate.
Giant.
It's the new
strategy
RTS. So
I feel like what I'm hoping is happening is a good development because the trailer honestly kind of sucks. It's cool-ish, but it looks boring altogether. I will say there's a sound effect in about half a second or so right from now. Right about there, you probably should hear that, is directly from the Protoss and StarCraft. I wonder how they're gonna.
You heard about like 15 seconds ago.
I wonder how they're going to like justify some of the assets they're going to use from the game if it's actually from stuff from Blizzard. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know they could recreate those and just it could be
make it look slightly different.
And they're like, well, it's a different octave than what you used, and we put this in it, and it's not the same.
Exactly.
True.
Because I could say, need more pylons, all I want, and you can't say shit about it.
Not enough pylons. Not enough pylons. But I feel like the trailer, I wonder if they just needed to get something out to tell the world, hey, we exist. We're still making this game. Let's let the world know, hey, there's a team that's doing this. So people that love RTSs are like, oh, I'll keep up on this. Because honestly, the trailer itself is kind of like, it's not exciting whatsoever. The only thing that excites me is its previous devs from other
Well, they did
places.
have a gameplay trailer for it as well, but it does look very much like a Blizzard RTS, and there were actually a few RTS this year, so I think like RTS is starting to come back. That's fine. I don't like them. I'm sorry.
RTS has not had a good moment in probably.
You know why? They
10,
stopped letting you put cheat codes in RTSs. who really enjoyed playing StarCraft straight up without being like
Infinite everything. Or it's like Sims.
Oh
the Sims
my
4
God.
right now. She can't get infinite money. She doesn't play it since then.
I don't know. Well, I don't know why it wouldn't let us, but my niece is also very much into it. She came over and she knows the code, and so she goes, Amber, come in here. And I go, she goes, I can't do the code. And I was like, hey, you can. And I started doing it, and it wouldn't pop up the little screen to put it in. And I was like, you can't put in the code. She goes, you can't put in the code. I was like, oh my God, how are you going to build a house?
I have to play the game.
This game legit now.
She was like, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know. How do you play this game without cheating?
I mean, like those games, like Grand Theft Auto, like I get people play through the storyline, but it's way more fun just to use a cheat code, get all the weapons, and just murder everybody than it is to really play through
I
the
did
game.
that in Saints Row 3, like back in the day. Like that was kind of early, like Grand Theft Auto 4 time. Like you just literally tried to kill everything just so that way you could get your notoriety up, or like the police forces come out. And I loved it because eventually they'd bring out tanks, and you would just like see how long you can survive.
Yeah.
No. So I think that's a good one. Of course, it's going to be pretty decent, I think, just because it has a lot of good people on the team.
I'm hoping they're spending a lot of that time and effort and money into making the game, which I think they are, hopefully.
Yeah, put cheat codes in it.
Fingers crossed.
You know what? If you have a sandbox mode that allows you to do that,
Yeah.
just be away from the multiplayer, obviously,
Well,
and even
I'm good with like how Bethesda does it. If you put mods in their game, like you don't get achievements. Okay.
yeah,
No problem.
makes sense. Because I understand if you're trying to like get an achievement that's super ultra rare and then you cheat your way to it, that's not rare anymore. But
The next one that they showed was American Arcadia. We do have a trailer for that one. Fuck yeah.
Arcadia.
It looks like it has that like old school like humor that Valve did with like Portal and all that stuff. I think it looks pretty cool. It's
Bring up Valve and how just depressing it is that their game that everyone really wants is never going to come out.
we'll get to that at the very end.
It's never coming out.
It
not
is
not
never
that,
coming
but
out, but
something else is coming out.
It don't matter. It's never coming out.
we'll get to that at the very end.
No.
So this
They
is
can literally be like, here's the trailer for number 3. I'm like, not coming out.
you can show that to me all day long. Not happening.
They're like, it went gold. Bullshit. Not coming out.
They're afraid of threes. You should know that. But this is American Arcadia. Like I said, it kind of has that cutesy little look like a lot of those games are starting to do, but it seems like it has a lot of puzzles and stuff like that that you would have for Portal.
It's a simplified graphic style, but it is really nice, and it's a lot like Inside.
Yeah.
The game that was, because I think Limbo started that kind of like creepy side crawlers, or
Yeah.
That new game looks awesome. That the people who made Limbo and stuff that was making for, I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. But this seems kind of like that, but it's a prettier version, like much more color, except for those places. But like, I think that that's going to be a cute little one to do on there. It is what it is. I think it's worth a shot. So there's that game. Now the next one that we have, that is.
Make sure you stop playing the other one.
That doesn't have any sound. Remember. So this is Star Rail. If you've ever played Genshin Impact, it's from the same people. But this is Genshin Impact in space.
Just kind of full disclaimer, it's a gacha game. It's made tons of money off of microtransactions. So it's a very microtransaction like heavy game.
Yeah.
But me and her have played it, and the base storyline's kind of fun. It's enjoyable. So
We'll see
how it goes.
Yeah. I really, really like the music, but it's literally like the same thing. It's got all the different types of characters you can play of and everything. It's just in space. It's not on Zelda's Breath of the Wild. It's in space. So I think it looks like a really cool game. If you like Genshin Impact, you'll like that. They're also making another one. It's like 3 Z words in a row, but that one really didn't have, like, they had an American version of this trailer. They did not have an American version of that game, so it's like in the wee early stages, but it looks more action in the wee early stages. It's not going to be out for quite some time, but it looks more actiony, like kind of like if Gundam met.
The pink hair lady's got a really big hood nose from the Grinch.
Shit on something. So I think it looks really good. I don't know. I like Genshin Impact. I don't play it a lot because you do have to get to like level 16 to be able to play with other people. I don't have time for that. I can go in and play an Overwatch game, or I can get on Left 4 Dead, which has never failed me. So
you know why I don't want to play this game? Dot hack games.
Dot hack. Yeah.
And I can't really say games. Really, dot hack interactive movies, and it kind of ruined all type like the games that look super anime. I'm just like, it just makes me think of dot hack, like Persona. I love those games, but it's so hard for me to get into playing them because I'm like, I don't want to go through a dot hack.
Like Kenpachi Ramasama, why didn't you do your math homework? I like the Persona games. I actually started doing the Danganronpa when we went to Anime Central. I did not put a picture of this in our video because that's for my eyes only. But my niece got a Montekuma onesie, and I was like, I want a onesie too. I've always wanted a onesie as an adult. I said, should I get a different one or the same one? She's like, the same one. So we were actually in the hotel room that night wearing our Montekuma onesies together. It has a cute little butt bear thing on it. It's really cute.
I'm judging you and your niece so hard right now.
You can do it all you want. I don't give a crap.
Not really that hard, but just a little bit.
It's a cute little onesie, and I'll wear it on the next show.
No, you won't.
Watch me. So the next one's coming out this year, September 15th. I am so incredibly stoked for this. It is called Metal Hellsinger. Have you heard about this game?
No.
Okay, cool. So,
yeah, because I did do my research for this. I kind of did.
You winged it.
It's okay. So you take Doom, and you take metal music, like
So Doom.
Yeah, but the big thing is this
The
is actual
game.
metal bands. So like they have Gwar, they have System of a Down, they have like all sorts of different people that they've taken. So Doom, but you have to kill the enemies in time with the music. So
I'm
it
gonna
has.
suck at this game so bad.
No, I don't know. Like it's just like the way that they're showing it. So like right now, you got like 2 guns and you gotta go like boom, 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 and it's so freaking cool. I'm a musician. I freaking love whenever things go to the music. So this is basically my guilty pleasure.
She thought she was going to get old playing DDR, and the kids are going to make fun of her in the mall. So she loved rhythm games.
They did make fun of me in the mall whenever I was a kid, but now
she thought she was going to be in a walker at that point. So.
I was the talk of the town when we went to the rec bar and there was a DDR machine and people were like, "Oh, she's really good at that." And I was like, "That's right. Praise me. All of that time that I was a kid and nobody liked that game, praise me now."
I probably would have liked that game, but it just stunk so bad around that game. I just avoided it.
It's so
does.
incredibly true.
Because you always had that one kid that was like, I don't know if he was trying to exercise or he just wanted to be a large man playing DDR, and he refused the shower, and like he would play it for like 9 hours. And I'm just like, guys,
So, all right, guys, we need soap.
it's like going to every convention. Like, there's that condom smell.
It's called Taco Bell hot sauce in the heat. That's what it smells like. Prove me wrong.
It's called sweaty salsa.
Gross.
There we go. That's a good one.
So that's Metal Hellsinger.
What
that
burrito
one,
are you spreading that on?
that's gross.
I'm gonna spread my burrito.
I think that one looks really good.
It'll be
Personally,
fun. I'll enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
But
No.
I'm gonna suck at it really bad.
I can't wait. The next one's already out, but I thought that it actually deserved a spot on here because it's got David Arquette, it's got Ted Raimi, it's got the girl from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, the Asian girl. I don't remember her name. she's in it. There's a bunch of people that are in this game actually, but it's from the makers of Until Dawn. So it's one of those where you have to choose what happens, but this one is in a quarry. Ted Raimi is freaking excellent.
No,
in this.
I'm good with it. Like, it's the same thing like Heavy Rain, all those games. Like,
Yes.
they're not fun for me.
I like watching them, so like it
don't.
was. Oh god,
Like,
it was so
that's
good.
my problem.
We've
with a lot of
watched
stuff.
that.
Like, that's why I've never been able to really get into Twitch. Like, I don't enjoy watching people play. I want to play the game.
Well, she usually does other stuff while doing it. It's always background noise to
I
an
know,
extent
but-
too, but we have both kind of watched since Until Dawn, and the other one was Man of Medan. Man of Medan was really good.
Man of Medan.
So
I think they're really good games, and the fact that this one had like David Arquette and Ted Raimi, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and it's really freaking cool. Like, if you can't tell from like the way that it shows off the moon and everything, the first one was Wendigos, this one is werewolves, and I think Ted Raimi does an excellent job in this. But the kids are kind of your cliche kids, and they're kind of idiots.
all of them are every game.
But I really enjoyed The Quarry, so I thought that even though this one was already out, I thought that
But
we
it
should
was
show
announced and released the same day. That's
Yes.
why it was out. So it's still fresh and new.
Oh shit, you got Lance Hendrickson in there too.
Sure. Yeah, that girl.
It was the old man that shot the gun. That's
Oh yeah.
100% Lance Hendrickson.
There's also the girl that's from Insidious.
The psychic.
Yeah, she's in it. Like, there's so many people that are in this. It's so good.
Yeah, they actually every single game they've done, I think they've pretty except Until Dawn.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they're
Well,
good
it's pretty
stories.
awesome.
Like I give them like all the like
Yeah.
it's a great story. I don't get enjoyment out of playing this game. Like
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those where you're
It's the
watching it
equivalent-
go down.
once
and you,
again, it's an interactive movie like Dot Hack, and I don't want.
Well,
to
it's
go
the
down that
equivalent
road
of
again.
like old school like it's the old school like games where you would just pretty much be presented text and you choose the next option based on what you wanted. It's what that is.
But
It's
at least
pretty
you had to think in those ones. You got your two options there. Like those games are like, what do you do next? You're like,
type it out.
shit.
well, that's the thing is they actually like some of them they give you a time frame, but a lot of them you have all the time in the world to make your decision, and so it's just like, do you go left? Do you go right? And you're like, left looks pretty.
And then my
good.
problem too is I do like the choose your own like adventure books. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go left, but before I do, I'm saving it. Let's go left.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go right.
Well, this actually is a new thing, but if you so like in Until Dawn, if you went through and you were like
Messed up
all the way to
one
the
thing.
end and you did something stupid, that character was dead.
Yeah,
you can't go back.
There was like something like 36 different endings for that game, wasn't
Yeah.
there? Like
Yeah.
there was an insane amount of endings. for
Man
that
of Medan actually had even more too. 'Cause
Really?
they
And it's a short
yeah.
one, so like this one though, it gives you 3 lives. So if you kill somebody you did not want to kill,
You can move back to the where
You have the option of
decision
going
was
back.
made.
but so if you all
Once you
ever
do it 3 times, you can again.
You
or is
cannot
it
again.
Game
It-
over.
That game. Well,
it's well
you
whatever
can continue
that
the
choice,
game. Yeah, you
whatever
can continue
choice
the
is
game
at
and
that
finish
point.
that ending.
Yeah.
So you could still play, but like you only get 3 chances to rewind.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
you've already used up your 3 lives and one of the girls dies, you're like, oh, I really don't want her to die. It's like, sorry, you've run out of lives.
You start
So
playing the
she's
game
now
all over
dead.
again.
But
Yeah, it gives a little wiggle room.
there was I watched Jacksepticeye play it so that I could see the game and everything. And at one point, he made a decision, and like probably an hour into the game, he did something, and somebody got killed, and he was like, "Oh my God, no! I want him to live, so I'm gonna like change this." It went all the way back to that one
because that was
point.
the decision. That
Yeah.
made
That
it?
was the decision, and he was like, "Oh my!"
Oh, so you don't know what that decision is?
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
made it.
Like if you say I don't want that person to die, you don't know if it was that decision that you just made or like 20 before it that made that decision.
That's rough.
So like
Mm-hmm.
it was like a certain scene where like just literally which door you open changes the whole outcome, and it shows this dude dying, and he was like, "No, I don't want him to die," so he changes it, and then it goes, "Which door do you choose?" And he was like, "There's like 4 doors. Oh my God! Like what if I make the wrong decision again?" So
But then it's not that bad of a game because of that. You can learn and figure out what to do if you actually take time to play the game and
Yes.
read the clues and
but
stuff
they're
like that.
also like streaming like we
Yeah,
do, and they don't.
want
have
to
it.
take forever.
Right.
Yeah, I think honestly, those games are really good for the gaming industry because it brings in a lot of other people. Because actually, I don't like playing those either. I like kind of watching it a little bit. I don't have time
In the
to do.
background, probably be okay with
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I usually do. I'm looking
I
at
don't
things
have
for videos.
Yeah, I don't want to spend 40, 50 hours on a game where I click something every few minutes, maybe an hour.
Yeah, like, there were
between
times where he
scenes.
put the controller down, and then like it makes you do something. He's like, "Oh shit!"
It is a movie, like you said, interactive movie. So I'd want to be more engaged in what I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that stuff like that Tales of the Borderlands, all the
Tales.
Telltale games. It was great because it brought in a lot of new people that just didn't like playing normal games.
I love the Tales games. So,
what about Ducktales games?
It's because David Tennant playing the friggin' Scrooge McDuck now, so I'm totally into it.
Is he really?
Cool.
Yeah. He's Scrooge McDuck in all the new Disney DuckTales stuff.
Hey, he's pretty good actually. He sounds pretty legit.
Yep. Well, he's Scottish, so it fits. So the next one, I'm not going to show a trailer for because it is an older game that they're kind of putting the two together, but I think it looks interesting. It's called Layers of Fears.
Yeah.
They're intermingling.
If you've been in the horror genre, you know what these games come from. Insomnia.
Well, yeah. So Layers of Fears is an actual game. Like, there's two of them from like 2016, but this one is like doing a remaster kind of thing. They're redoing the story the way it should have been done back then.
And it's got a pretty big universe.
Yeah.
Like, there's other games that are in that same universe.
It looks like Amnesia, kind of, but then it also has some like.
I'd call it Insomnia. Yes,
Yeah,
Amnesia.
Amnesia.
Wrong game.
With Dishonored.
Yeah,
I think it looks really cool. I'm gonna do it. It's a psychological.
You ain't gonna get through it.
Right? I didn't get through Amnesia because the thing in the water scared the hell out of me. I'm still gonna play it though. So.
We're gonna make sure it's on Game Pass and we're gonna rent it because we're not paying for a $60 game for you to like stop halfway.
So the next one, it went to Devolver Direct, which was really weird for me because it was a 30-minute video for them for E3. There was
one game.
One game on it. The rest of it was them doing
Devolver's a fun
skits.
company though. They make a lot of games.
They do, and I think that like since they started doing E3s, they've made it very entertaining for what they do. But literally, it's like 11 minutes of them doing stupid stuff, and then it's like, here's a trailer, and then the rest of it is them doing stupid stuff, and it's one game. But the one game that they did have is called Cult of the Lamb, which is coming out August 11th. It's this cutesy little game where you've got like this cute little piggy, and there's this lamb. Oh, it's going to be in a second though. It's like this little lamb comes in, and he's kind of like a devil worshiper. And you can see
well, I think
him.
he technically is like the
devil,
or something like that. The Antichrist, whatever. I don't know. Just they haven't really explained, but I think he's an absolute evil person. But during the game, you're like, I can't tell if they're trying to say he's a good character or what, because you get to play him.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it looks super cute, and I think it's kind of like the Woodland Critter Christmas from South Park. I feel like it has that feel to it. So,
especially the fact whenever like halfway through the trailer for the game, like all the cult people.
It's exactly. I actually have it on here. It says cute fuzzy animals where there's a cult and the lamb. It says with demonic powers, behold Woodland Critter Christmas or Happy Tree Friends for those who remember it. Like, it's very much Happy Tree Friends. It's so cute. Look at that.
One of my favorite scenes, though, it's not very far in, is when they're like digging a hole, and then they're just like, they throw their little dead friend in there for whatever reason he's dead. They're like, hey, and they're still happy.
I mean, they're so freaking cute, and I think it's hilarious, and I love it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it just looks so freaking good. So that's all that Devolver came out with, which is what it is. I mean, like, it's a great game. It looks like it's going to be fun and everything. So kudos to them.
I'll give Devolver this. They make good games. They're not always. They don't push out a lot of content like some companies. But every game I've seen of theirs, I really don't see any issues with. Most everybody likes every single one of their games, pretty much. So I'm happy. I want to see where this goes.
Yeah. So the next one that's on here is the Epic Game Show.
Epic.
They only had 2 games that I thought were interesting, and one of them wasn't even a trailer. It was just, it's coming.
There was a lot of that where it was just like, hey, we got this game.
Yeah.
All right, so anyways, we're going to talk about this other game.
Yeah, so it's coming out eventually. So here we're going to talk about this one, Alan Wake 2, and then they're also remastering the first one. So that one was one that they did at the very end there. Freaking love Alan Wake 1.
I liked it except for you fought a tornado as the main bad guy.
Yeah, it's part of the story.
I know, but
Don't worry, you cannot convince her. This is not the best game ever.
I really enjoyed the game up until the end was just you shot flares into a tornado.
I will say that the ending was kind of lackluster, but the whole trip up to that point was great.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. I guess I got the collector's edition box at home.
I just want to see them like expand that universe more, because it's Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and then the new one,
Is
Control.
Quantum Break part of it too?
And Control.
I never played it.
I didn't either, but I looked up a little bit about it, and those 3 games are in the universe together, and I actually want to see them do more. I didn't care for Quantum Break for what I saw about it, but Control was really cool. Like I want to see them expand on both sides of those 2 games. It's a really cool universe.
I can't wait for Alan Wake 2.
I like I said, I enjoyed Alan Wake. I just didn't like the ending of it. It wasn't that great.
Now, I will say one game that reminds me a little bit of that. I want them to see them do more. I don't know if they will, but The Evil Within reminds me a little bit about that.
Very much so, yeah.
Evil Within was okay. The Evil Within 2 was hot trash.
The story was really confusing. I think the gameplay went downhill a little bit because it was more just like kind of like Resident Evil 7 style. Like
it's the Bethesda problem. They don't know how to make things better. They know how to just like continually add same things and make it look a little prettier.
Yeah.
Dishonored.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love Dishonored 1.
The first
game was
great.
okay.
2 was just more the same. So, either way, I love Dishonored.
But yeah, but Alan Wake.
I want Alan Wake to have like sniper rifles, but it's just a laser pointer. So he's like,
and make the sound effect when he shoots.
it's
So the other one that Epic Game had on there was Lord of the Rings. Now this one,
I'm confused, honestly, because I mean it looks okay, I guess, but it's not much to it. But it's like,
I mean, it's one
there's
of those.
a couple good Lord of the Rings games that have been made. Most of the rest of them have been not that great so
It's a
far.
survival crafting game.
I know,
So
and that's
you play
weird.
as the dwarves.
Yeah.
Return to Moria is what it's called.
I like the idea. I mean, the dwarves are retaking Moria. Sure, it's cool, but I'm a little worried that it's not going to be what I want.
Is what it is. I think it looks really cool. Depending on how they do it, so like the raft game, I think was really cool. That's like one of those survival crafting. The one in the forest or whatever.
Yep, the forest.
It was a really good one. So it depends on how they make this. Like if they just have this, but if you have other things,
if there's a story to it where like you progress through the game, kind of like Vermintide, and take over. Like if they made the combat and the physics and everything like Vermintide, where it's just like thousands of these goblins and orcs and all that stuff, that would be fun.
Iron Man cartoon special where they're just hammering out and there's just I am mountain dwarf.
just imagine that though, like Vermintide with like Ark Survival Evolved or any other survival style game. Maybe the Forest would be good, but that would actually be cool if they do it well, because to fight hordes of orcs and goblins and stuff would be enjoyable to retake your Moria. But I have a feeling it's just going to be like most Lord of the Rings games.
It's Fallout Shelter, but Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They just rely on the name Lord of the Rings, and then because there's only like one series of games was the Mordor Shadow of War, and what's the first one? You know what I'm talking about.
But I actually really like the movie games too, because they actually went into more of the book stuff with the actual games. Like they weren't great gameplay games, but the story and then what they brought into it made me happy.
But they didn't do much more other than tell the story.
Yeah.
The other Lord of the Rings games, like the strategy one, it was fun to play for me because I love RTSs, but it was they really executed it poorly. But I think there was a couple good games from Lord of the Rings. Past that, there's been a lot of flops. So I hope they do well.
They should have done Lord of the Rings that brings in the new show that attaches to that, so it ties it in and gets people into it, because I'm still really
on the
interested
fence
about the show. I'm worried about it.
Yeah. I just think that, you know what, I don't care how they do it. I just hope that they pick how they're going to do this show and stick to it rather than letting anybody influence it, the public. Because I mean, we're not going to be really.
I do not want 9 hours of walking again.
No, but I know there's a lot of controversy around it. I just want them to be able to stick to their show, make it exactly how they want without letting the public sway whichever way it's going to be. I want the show to be made a certain way, but you know what's going to really screw things up is if they start making it that way halfway through development. Then they're like, oh shit, we're going to redo everything. We're not going to have another Sonic out of this. Because Sonic, all that was an art change, not a whole storyline change.
With his human teeth.
That was That was one example I can imagine.
They should
of anything.
really release Sonic with that version.
So so there's a new movie out on Disney Plus called Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
They make fun of that.
They make fun of that Sonic.
Is it any good?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Like I know that I saw these little scenes.
Rescue Rangers growing up.
I know, and I don't want to see this.
This looks dumb.
Like them going from like the old version to like the new animated version. I'm like,
and they're poking too much fun at the way things used to be done, and then like.
But again, like the scene that I've seen with Sonic is he's selling merchandise with his face on it, the teeth version, and he's like this red-eyed, like he looks like he has had a rough time. He's like, I got some memorabilia, and they're all like, ugh. It's like, okay, at least you all.
Sonic 2?
No, not yet.
Mm-hmm. So my favorite part, like, it was a good movie. It's not as good as, like, I don't feel like it's as good as the first one. I don't enjoy it, but I wasn't really expecting a lot from the first one. I thought it was gonna be dumb, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So this one's still really good, but Sonic does a whole like, he's the worst, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best part of the whole movie.
Oh god. So, the next couple of games we've got are from Tribeca. I hope I'm saying that right. Tribeca Games.
Tribeca.
I think that the one looks really cool. It's called As Dusk Falls. It has like, it has this cool like painting.
Oh no, dusk.
It's got this cool painting look to it, and it's like they took real people, they videoed them to do all this movement, but then they just chose specific movements and had them move.
They put Gary Oldman in it.
Did they?
No, I don't know.
I was gonna say if they did, I would absolutely play it. It's another one of those things where it's like the Quarry and Until Dawn, where you choose the story. So, like it's 3 people or like
Robert Kirkman.
Man, I don't know.
Like, the guy in the beginning of the video 100% looks like Robert Kirkman that was driving the car. Looked like.
Well, I think you'll see him again in here anyway. So, but like it follows 3 families and they're all attached some way somehow.
No, it's not.
But like it has this story to it and everything, and like you just play through and you play the story how you want it to play.
But is it gonna be another like Telltale game where you're not really doing anything? It's just like
probably,
yeah. The next one though that was from them, it was one of the first ones that they showed. I thought it looked amazing. Like it's basically Scott Pilgrim with like a different story. So it's called Thirsty Suitors. So you've got this. You're thirsty. You got this woman that's going back home, and she's from an Indian family, and like her mom wants her to be this traditional woman, find herself a person to marry and all that stuff. She just wants to be her. But she goes home and she sees all of her exes. And
are they from Texas?
No. Oh my no. But there are all these different exes that she sees, and she fights them in some way, shape, or form. It's like the first one that she sees, and I think it's actually in this video somewhere, is no, not you.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy.
Man, she's amazing at the computer skills.
No, he's another Twitch streamer. We don't need him on here. There is a shot where she's in like this coffee shop or something like that, and her 3rd grade boyfriend comes into there, and he's like talking to her like, here we go, and like he comes in and they have to fight and everything, and she says at one point is like, don't think that your chest hair is like gonna distract me enough for this, and he's just like, oh, so you were looking at my chest hairs, and it's like and it's like a fight begins.
Is he dressed like a pirate?
No, he dressed looking like Michael Jackson at some point, I believe. Yeah, right there. He's got all sorts of stuff going on for him, but I think it's a cool little thing. It's kind of like Scott Pilgrim where you have to fight your exes and everything like that. So I think it looks really cool. I would be totally interested in it. If it's not the same price as like a normal game type deal, I would be totally down for it. But that was all that really came out for Tribeca. I'm not going to show this one, even though it absolutely deserves to be shown. But the new game from Guerrilla Collective is Kung Fury Day at the Beach.
It's a DLC, or is it a new game or a DLC?
It's a DLC, but this time you get to play as David Hasselhoff. And
no, you don't.
Yes, you do. Trailer. All right, so we're gonna stop this one and we're gonna look it up here. Nope.
Kung Fury was one of my favorite things. I remember telling people at Best Buy about it. They're like, that sounds stupid. I was like, look, guys, it's only like 45 minutes. Go watch it. It is so worth the time.
So beautiful. So here's the trailer for friggin' Day at the Beach. Wasn't gonna do it, but it deserves it. You get to play as David Hasselhoff, and one of his things is he rips his shirt open and his chest hair pops out, and it's like it stuns them.
Does he get like a German belt on?
He's got his like the video for Kung Fury, like his video. It's what he's wearing. So this is the DLC for Kung Fury. It's the third DLC for it. I think it looks friggin' amazing. You can play as Triceracop. You can play as Kung Fury himself, and now you can.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you can play as Hackerman, one of the oh my god,
Barbariana.
Well, yeah, Barbariana. Like we can play as one of her, but it's Kung Fury, Day at the Beach. I think it's great. There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that was the only one that really like came out to me as being cool from them. And the next one is Wholesome Direct. We're gonna let this play in the background just for this. There are a bunch of small little indie games that they came out with. Little Bear Chef looks freaking cute as heck. You get to play as a little honey bear jar, and he teaches you how to cook. I think it looks cute. But then you also don't you shake your head. I can see it over there. It is very cute. Then you have
Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, yes it is.
You know they lost the IP to that, so
they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
Melodicy is another one where you get to play as the character and this cute little dog that looks like little notes, and you go around and just do little things here and there. Loveburb is a dating simulator as birds, and like
you know how before the show we were talking about like how the gaming industry is just releasing really terrible games and stuff.
No.
All these games you're talking about.
No.
Is the fall of gaming as we know it.
No, fam.
You are literally doing a dating app as a married woman as a video game.
Yes. I'm sorry. I think Loveburb sounds amazing. The next two...
indie games will save us all.
Skatebird.
No, I'm okay with this one.
Yeah,
come on. Double standard.
Skatebird is Tony Hawk with birds. So,
The Tony Hawk games are amazing.
Yes, they are. And
Up until 4.
I have a picture to show
Actually,
you, by the way.
Thug 1's great.
I can't say it because we're on stream, but I gotta show you a picture later. There's another one that is called Ollie Frog, Toad Skater, Tony Hawk with frogs. So they both have like birds or
they're
frogs.
They're gonna ribbit it up.
Okay, well, on to the next one.
You missed it though. Instead of ribbit it should have been ribbit up. There you go.
No.
No, because then you sound like you're talking about condoms.
Well, it leaves the discussion open.
I don't know what frogs are doing with those.
Good God. So the next one is up as Future Game Show. This game that came up.
He's got Chris Hardwick as nose.
No. I thought this one looked pretty darn good. This one is very PT Silent Hill. So I think this one's going to be one of those that looks pretty darn cool. It's a full thought out game. Physics looks good. The trailer shows like someone wrapped up in a cloth and then was like shucked across the way, and it actually looked like really good movement. But for those of you who really wish the PT was made into a game, this is definitely the one. You gotta see it, like that cloth looks really good. It is not the one, but
it's as close as we're gonna ever get.
it's close as we're gonna
I don't.
get. Hey, now's the time to talk about that. Hideo Kojima is now working with Microsoft on a couple of games. Maybe that'll be one of them.
Yeah.
So,
I will say
Bill
I have
Gates PT.
Bill Gates PT.
PTSD.
It is faster. Over 5 million.
See, I don't really understand why, but there's a lot of people that are hating on his merger with Xbox, or like working with Xbox. There's a new petition out to keep him out of Xbox.
Metal Gear was such a good Sony game. Like Metal Gear was Sony. Like
yeah.
I bought a PS2 launch because Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah.
Only reason I would have waited for a while, but Metal Gear Solid 2 was out with PS2. That's the only. Literally, I told my mom when it was because it came out 8th grade year. I was like, I don't want nothing for my birthday. I don't want anything else. The only thing I want is a PS2 that could be my presents for everything. And I got one, and that's all I got the whole year because that's all I wanted. Was I got a PS2, extra controller, a memory card, and Metal Gear Solid 2, and I played the ever living shit out of that game.
See, I feel like me and Amber actually talked about this. I think Sony is, I don't know what they're doing, but they're changing their business model a lot because they have now given up or sold, whatever they did, rights to Spider-Man, that he's no longer
I don't
exclusive.
think they give it up. I think they just ran out of it.
I guess, but
they
didn't.
ran out of it, but they didn't want to renew it. So they were like, "You can just have it."
I guess, but they're losing that. They used to be the big indie game developer. I feel like a lot of the indie games went to PlayStation. They didn't develop them necessarily, but a lot of the indie games I can't remember.
No, because it's been that way always. Because if you go back to even like PS2, not PS2, but like PS3 and 360, Microsoft had all the good stuff. PS3 really fell short on a lot of their exclusive. They had like God of War, they had White Knight Chronicles, and they didn't really have much. And then PS4 comes out, and Xbox One kind of shifted a little bit.
Well, that's why, like I say, that PlayStation had better, smaller games.
No, they didn't even have better, smaller games though. Like
some of them. What was your favorite one? The one little through the desert.
Wow, it's fake. I know it's fake. Damn, they're just gonna announce Bloodborne like this.
The music was amazing.
This early? Wow.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like,
State of Play.
they had some really good small games, especially. I feel like Xbox really outdid them on the big games, like Gears of War and Halo.
Because it was a huge issue when the PS3 came out because Blu-ray. And people couldn't develop on Blu-ray. Yeah. They had such a hard time. So literally, like Xbox 360 did so well because they had an insane amount of indie games too on 360, but they all came out as arcade games. So they were killing the market there. Like it's been that way. Sony's always been an entertainment system, not a video game system. They're not a video game company. They're an entertainment company. So they're going to go the way of what's best for the entire overall entertainment, not video game entertainment.
But they're losing out on some of that already.
Yeah, but they're not going to stop making those games for Sony.
No. I think that what I'm trying to get at here, though, it's like, what year was it that the Game Awards, was it like 2017, 2018? I think that Xbox stole the show, and I feel like Sony didn't have anything that year. It was the first year that Sony didn't have like anything for that event. It was like third year into the Game Awards, and they didn't do anything for the event. But then Xbox named a partnership with indie games. They're doing a new partnership where they get like tons of funding for indie games they see that they're going to do well, kind of like Steam does with the green lighting.
Right.
But I feel like Hideo Kojima is probably moving to Xbox or Microsoft because I feel like they're going to have. He's more likely to succeed in the smaller games and the better stories that he wants to tell in that, because I feel like they really pushed him to make a bigger production game with Death Stranding. I'm sure he didn't get to make it 100%.
He made 100% the way he wanted it. It was his game. It is his game. It's his developer company. He made it.
Yeah.
But I feel like they also still pushed him to put more into it.
I don't think he could afford to do it. That game took forever and a day to come out. And what else have they came out with?
And that's why I say I think that's why Sony really needed it to come out sooner, and that's why
I don't
it
even
came
think
out.
so. I think Hideo Kojima went with Xbox just because they probably are giving him the funding to do what he wants, or give him the free control to do what he wants.
That's what I'm saying. I think that he's going to do well with that because I feel like PT needed a little bit more story to it, but it would have been a perfect game already as it was. Yeah, but
I don't think that came from Sony though. I think that was Konami. Because Konami.
Well, yeah, because he was still with
fire.
Yeah,
like everything went bad at Konami instantly.
But at the same time, he wasn't able to complete that game. I think the Death Stranding was a little bit offshoot of it. He took some parts of it with him to Death Stranding, but Death Stranding was a very different game.
Yeah, I could not get into Death Stranding. I tried. There's a few friends I got that love that game. I just can't get into it. But I don't know, like.
Ignore me. I'm just looking up the trailers for the next.
I think any move to a business that's going to support you more as a creator is a good idea. I'm hoping Xbox and Microsoft does. So I think it's an okay move, and if he makes a good game, good.
I don't think Sony really cares about the ones that they go. Like Horizon is a big one. That was theirs, but Horizon was still going. Like they all just had like. Look at the first Horizon game. Like it went on PC and Microsoft or PC
after a year or two.
Yeah, so like I think those ones they don't really care too much about, but like the ones that they're never gonna go God of War, Uncharted, those are the ones they wanted to. And God of War's coming out. Like there's a new God of War coming.
Yeah.
They still haven't said shit about it.
Or
really.
was it Ragnarok? Yeah. Or yeah.
And from what I understood from like the things they said, like the DLC they were gonna do for God of War. Once they started putting it, they're like, oh no, that's an entire game.
Yeah.
So they were going to make a DLC, and it was an entire game. they already had a God of War 2 planned. So I feel like they got God of War, they got God of War 2 Ragnarok, and then they're gonna have another that they've already got figured out.
Yeah, so they're probably doing co-development, so that way, hopefully, God of War 2 / 2 and 3, whatever we know the name of one of them, but hopefully the gap won't be as big from this recent God of War. Oh well, without even knowing exactly when this next God of War comes out, I'm assuming it's going to be probably 2024. I bet it'll
be 2025. There's so many they do so much it's such a good job of digging way deep into the mythology of it that that's what I feel like takes long. I don't feel like them creating the game takes a long time. I think them actually getting the mythology down and what they want to say really good. And
I feel what actually takes the longest is a little bit of that, but actually making the world that they build look exactly like that. Because I think they really did a good thing with the aesthetic of every place that you go to in God of War.
But I think with God of War though, that first one where he's with the Norse mythology, you just start opening up those things where it shows all the different things where you could go from different realms and stuff. But it shows the Greek gods and stuff like that. Then it shows the Norse gods, and you see Egyptian gods. So I have a feeling it's gonna go after the second God of War Ragnarok game.
It's gonna go to something else,
a different one, and they're already pulling that information into it real hard. I'm excited. So
I'm in too. I feel like they're doing
I'm really sad there hasn't been a threesome scene in any of the new ones like you did in the first game, where you're just circle, X, square, triangle, R1. Oh god, yes, all the red orbs.
No, that was what distinguished that game back in the day. Yeah. It was gory. It was all kinds of nudity and stuff. Yeah, it was a adult game. It was a really adult.
Don't be hating it.
I ain't hating it.
Because it was back in the day. It was Halo was one of the first mature rated games because there was lots of bloodshed and all that. But God of War is we're gonna up everything.
Suit Larry.
That was
BMX Triple X.
Those were games that just were so weird that it wasn't very widely accepted. Though.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Conker's Bad Fur Day 64.
South Park on 64. You peed on snowballs and threw them at people.
That's right. Oh my god. Anywho, so the next one on the list is Entropy Center. I am incredibly happy to see this one because it's Portal with
That's sorted. Anything else?
Warning. The current temperature of Earth is approaching 100 million degrees Celsius.
But you can still move objects.
Great.
No.
So there's no cave.
Puzzles are the most efficient way of generating entropy energy.
They need to make it.
As an Entropy Center employee, the continued existence of this station and Earth depends on your energy generation.
And this voice lines.
Yeah. I don't even care if it's just literally your time. Or make any
All analysis conclude that you have most likely survived.
Thanks, Astra.
Don't make lemonade. You demand to see life did.
Make life through with a day and give you.
Okay, so solve puzzle, brain hurts, generate energy.
I think the gun is going to be
exactly
the mix of all the cubes or all the support characters. Not yeah, I think the gun is kind of like a conglomerate of all the plus classes. Well, yes, I'm saying the gun talks to you and it has all kinds of smart remarks to you. No, I've seen that. A lot of people are.
So I think that one's going to be a really big hit if you're really looking to play 2062. What? If you're really looking to play a game that's kind of like Portal, this one would probably be the nice little scratch to your itch. So I'm going to get that game more than likely, so it doesn't really matter. It's I just want to play it.
I like how it says coming 2062.
Well, I just froze in it. It was just counting down. The next one, I don't care what anybody says. This is I know it's not a new genre of games, but it's coming out to be one of the
Monopoly.
better. No.
Oh.
So this one, it is a simulator game. It is called
Hello everyone, Obi-Wan here, and welcome to Let's Try Brewmaster. Before we hop into the game, I would just like to announce two quick things. First of all, tiny channel update. At the time of recording, we are sitting at 998 subscribers, which means by the time you see this, we might have already reached 1,000 or are really close. And I would like to thank all of you for joining the channel, for all the nice comments and feedback, for joining the Discord.
Simulator 3. There's no
game.
Simulator 2.
Yeah, it's like
it's making fun of it.
3.
Yeah, it's making fun of its own self. Yeah.
But you actually go through and make the beer, and it shows you how to make the beer and all that stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
Amber's going to get it because
why don't you just make beer?
I could make beer after playing this.
You can make beer now without playing it.
I mean, who knows?
You can literally go to the websites and buy the stuff to make beer, and they will tell you the recipe that you need and what hops, grains, and how to boil it.
You know why she's going to get it, though? Because as you make money and you do stuff in the game, you can customize your entire kitchen, house, and everything.
Yes.
So, it's Sims.
Yeah, it's Sims.
Yes. So
there's no cheat codes, Amber.
Power Washing Simulator.
No cheat codes.
Power Washing Simulator is one of the best simulator games I've ever played in my life.
And do you wash Dookie off stuff?
It looks like it, yeah. So, like, it's really fun. I have 100%ed that game plus, because you can go back and replay things, and I will replay, like, the skate rink 5 times if I'm bored, because it's just a calming game. If I have to, like, listen to our stuff and, like, edit the audio, I will play that, and then if I hear something, I can just pause it, go, fix it, push play, let it keep going, and then just spray and pray. Oh, it's so good. I think it's cool. I'm going to check it out because I've found that simulator games are actually pretty hella cool. But that's just me.
She has gotten into the simulator craze.
It's true. The next one I think is actually a really cool game.
The surgery simulator where you like go there just shit. That was always fun.
No, that one's pretty fun. But
let's
like,
leave random tools in them.
Yeah.
Power Washing Simulator for me is just like I can play that all day long. Now you can do it with multiplayer. Get on Ambino.
So you can just spray your hoses at each other?
Yes, and it used to actually shove them back.
Actually, you know what? My favorite experience with a simulator game was with you and your dad. And it was the firefighting one at the mall. And your dad was like, he was like, no, Amber, you gotta do it this way.
Yeah.
And he kicked your ass so
I'm
hard
sitting there like
game.
at the bottom of the fire, and he's like, Amber, Z motion. You gotta set Z. And he's just going, and it just goes out, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It was awesome.
I mean, he was 41 years on the fire department, so.
I know, but it was awesome just watching him just come in like.
This person who plays games constantly, my dad has never played a video game before in his life, and he just walks in, he's like, I know you gotta do Z motion. See, look at that. See, you gotta hit the top and like kill it from the bottom and then. I'm like, okay, whatever. No, so this one is called Bramble, the Mountain King. Bramble. It is Norse, well, not Norse, but like Nordic mythology.
It's Celtic, I thought.
No,
it's Norse. Yeah.
It's Celtic.
Celtics. See Larry Bird pop out of the lake.
You play as this like brother and sister combo, and I want to say that they're small, but like I don't think they are.
No, they're. It's essentially like Little Nightmares. It's what the idea is. It looks
like that, but I thought that they were also like real, like human size.
It's like Little Nightmares, where they're actually. The idea is psychologically they are children. It's just showing in their minds how scary the world is.
I guess.
And yeah, that's what this is.
But long story short, you get all of the terrifying things from Nordic mythology. So the one that they show in this
cute
trailer,
and good things. There's some good things.
There are some good things, but the one that they show the most on here is there is a specific story. It's called the Naken. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. But it's this thing that plays music and leads you to water, and then it kills you.
And you have to go over the lake it's in, and you can see it in the distance, like
it looks like
going in the water.
Attack on Titan, like getting into the water, and it looks right at
huge.
you. And it's like, oh, shit, go. Like, I don't want that thing coming at me. But it has a bunch of different little stories like that on it, but it looks like you have to just, like, run through this area and fight all this little, like, Nordic mythology stuff. Is it going to show it here? I think this is... hello, nudity. Hey! Oh, well.
It doesn't actually show it on this trailer, I think.
Right, so it's probably on the gameplay trailer, but it shows him way in the background, and you are like,
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, that depth of field effect where the background is kind of blurred out. It's kind of neat because it shows you he turned his face to you and then like moves very quickly for a tall thing, and it just kind of goes under the water. You can't see where he goes.
Right at you,
you would assume, and that's like
That
the
might
build
be
up.
okay.
Yeah, that the build up terrifying part. I love that stuff.
Yeah. So then the last one that they showed was called The Last Faith. If you
Yes.
are a Bloodborne fan and if
Or-
you are a Castlevania fan,
See, that's where Castlevania. Yay! Bloodborne. I can't stand the super hard over the top games for no.
Well, no, it's a Castlevania side scroller style game,
Okay.
but it's got the
it
aesthetic
looks like
of
Bloodborne.
yeah.
So
Is it as hard as Bloodborne? Like that's.
I don't
they
know.
didn't really say.
Like,
It
that's-
looks like it plays like Aria of Sorrow from Castlevania, but so it has all this stuff in there. Like you have all your different types of weapons that you can use, but it looks like the like depth of how it looks is more so than
It's like
a
that
Castlevania game,
Gothic
but-
Victorian style, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
all
it
the
still fits with
monsters look good.
Castlevania almost too.
Like real good.
Like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, even Elden Ring. Like I tried to
Yeah.
play it. I paid $60 for it.
Yeah,
Got
I've
like
never
3
got
hours
it.
into it. And I was like, nope.
I was never a big fan of those types of games just because I suck at games. So I still love playing.
I think this character looks kind of like you would see a Belmont, really badass
Yeah.
kind of like demon killer.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. If it's called a Metroidvania style game,
Yeah.
so it's like that side-scrolling thing.
Oh,
I
it's
think it
gonna be
looks
hard then,
good.
too. They're throwing Metroid in it because
Yeah, they call it a Metroidvania.
Metroid and Super Metroid, fucking shit, those games are tough.
Well, anything that's like this style, everyone calls Metroidvania anymore. If it looks like Castlevania,
Yeah.
like or Metroid, like anything like that, they're gonna call it that.
So then Microsoft had theirs at the same time as Bethesda. So the first one that they showed, I'm kind of on the fence on. So it's called Redfall. It looks like it would be interesting.
I like the artwork on it a whole lot.
It looks a lot like Left 4 Dead to me.
Yes, it
but
looks
with vampires.
because Back for Blood, we paid $60, $120 because we both got the
Both got
game. Pretty shortly after it came out, we played it. We got through the entire story. We were very underwhelmed.
I think Valve has the characters that you love and enjoy, and then they made the game enjoyable to play over and over. With Back 4 Blood, you didn't have those characters that you really were
the
attached
funny
to.
the thing as I think is Back 4 Blood is quote unquote a better game. They put more depth into it. They put more gunplay into it.
More bullshittery in it.
Yeah, but I think what they lacked is the actually simplicity. Valve games are super simple, easy to play, but you can jump in it and just enjoy it as soon as you play it. But
Well, they
Back
had
4
those
Blood, you
little
had to commit
cards
time.
and stuff that you had, like your extra stuff you could do. You reloaded faster, you got more ammo when you picked it up. But then they also had ones where it was like all of the zombies have acid in them, and if you're in a small enclosed area and all of the vampires, not this game, all the zombies exploded, you just have a giant hallway full of acid and you can't get through and you die. So this one, I think it could be good. I'm a little scared because it does remind me a lot of like Left 4 Dead and stuff. But
I'm very happy. I think it's going to be good.
I love vampires. If I had to choose like a horror thing to like, I love vampires. Scary things to like. I don't really like zombies that much. I'm not a fan of werewolves. Like I'll read
How do
things.
you like vampires but not like werewolves? Like
So
you gotta kind of like both because they're always against each other.
Yeah, the creatures
Like
of the
you
night.
said, like if you had to pick between the two, you pick vampires. But like you gotta have werewolves if you're gonna have vampires.
true.
Because you know the sequel to this game, if they make one, is gonna be werewolves.
Yeah. I feel like this is State of Decay, by the way, with that picture that's going on around. It's State of Decay style art and everything. But I feel
I
like
like State of
werewolves,
Decay,
the big problem with werewolves is that they don't have any interest. Like, they're not interesting when they turn into werewolves. Vampires are just like these cunning creatures. Werewolves are just like beastly.
Well, as I've gotten older, I have learned to appreciate werewolves more than I used to. But I was like, Bram Stoker's Dracula was my favorite book whenever I was in middle school. So like vampires are big for me. I don't know. I was a weird kid. Okay, I wore the black trench coat. Mm-hmm. That's
so
right.
You shot the school. I mean, what?
What? No, never thought of that. I wore.
Sorry, Madam President.
That was in 12th grade. I didn't wear that. I wore it 1 year and I was like, this is dumb. No, in 12th grade.
It's hot.
It is very hot. Now, 12th grade, I was the anime president and I got free stuff and they would call me Madam President outside of school and it was really weird. But I like vampires. I think this is a cool looking game. They have like those different things that they do, like the different types, like you have the boomer and all that stuff. So I think it'll be cool. I hope it's cool. And they really need to have somebody like Chicago Ted, like they did in Left 4 Dead, where like he was the Chuck Norris of the Left 4 Dead world. I think they should do that in here too. But
I think since like Valve and other companies are just not doing a good job or not making sequels or future games of their kind of IPs, companies like this are going to eventually start picking up those ideas and making new stuff. Kind of like Back 4 Blood is just ex-devs from the company making this. I think this is a fresher start.
Since Valve doesn't make threes, they just made it Back 4 Blood.
I feel like I hope that they do a good job.
There's only an on and off. There's not an on, middle, off. It's just on or off.
Yeah, I agree. But like since they don't like threes, Left 4 Dead 3 was never going to happen. So
yeah,
Back 4 Blood did though. So that was a good one. The next one, love it or hate it, it doesn't matter. It's coming out off Overwatch 2. They said that they were going to start doing the beta for it, and they showed off a new character, which is the Junker Queen. Step on me, mommy. I love her so much. Like, I'm a tank person. Like, I usually play tank if I play Overwatch. She is gorgeous. I love her. I don't care what anybody says. But I like Overwatch. Yes, it sucks what's happened at Blizzard. I think it's an awful thing, but... So
if what happens is what we think might happen, is Overwatch 2 may be free to play.
They said it was going
to. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was confirmed. Okay, I'm more okay with this, but they are going to bring more monetization in, and the number one thing I know they're going to bring is a season pass. That's every one of those games that are free to play now have a season pass. So I know they're going to bring that. I know that loot boxes are going to stay. They're in the game now. There's no reason to take them out. I just hope they're not going to bring anything else as monetization.
My big thing is, like, a lot of people don't want to play this game and they don't want to, like, give money
support
to Blizzard and everything.
I don't.
I know, and I really don't like Blizzard whatsoever as far as a company goes. What I don't like is that there are people that were not involved in all of that stuff that did make this game.
That's when you have to decide, like, when do those people... they've already gotten paid for what they've done, their work. So they are not going to be affected unless you don't play the game, which they can hopefully find a new job at some point. But
as a content creator, I think it sucks for the stuff that you make. If like somebody were to say like the people above you made some poor decisions in life and they really suck and should be fired.
You know what my opinion is on that though? You need to
step on me.
Until
I'm sorry, every time she comes on.
Okay. Until Jeff Kaplan is gone, no. I don't think Blizzard needs to get any money from anyone.
Jeff Kaplan.
Not Jeff Kaplan. That's
I'm going to say Papa Jeff is gone.
Papa Jeff.
Papa Jeff has been gone for quite a while.
What's in that? Bobby Kotick. Yeah. Until Bobby Kotick is gone, then I really don't support the company.
Jeff, I love you, and I'm so glad you left, but I miss you.
If you can't tell, Amber is very passionate about this game. She's ignoring us right now.
I'm still going to buy Diablo 4.
Yes.
That's on here too, so I'm sorry.
I think by the time Diablo 4 actually comes out, though, hopefully Bobby Kotick's gone and they can get some other...
Get money from it. He's already there.
Well, I know. That's why I don't know why they don't go ahead and sever the head right now, because no matter how he leaves, he's got that $290 million golden parachute. Like, he's going to get his money. So just get it over with.
Well, I don't care. Like, I love Overwatch. I've always been a huge fan of it. So
it's an okay game.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with like fighter games for me. I get really burned out on those games really quick.
It's the first game that I actually played that I was pretty okay at, so I got attached to it really, really quickly. No one can beat me as Sigma. Fight me. So,
give me time. I really want to play it.
Don't worry, I'll beat her for you, which I usually do.
Excuse you. Ooh. Okay, well, if you're gonna throw that shade out here,
I think we need this on a live stream. YouTube.
We'll do it. We'll do 1v1 limited or
I'm gonna commentate it.
we know how
I don't know none of the names.
I won twice the other day.
Yeah, and guess what? I've finally sit up in my chair and it's like, you know what? You're not winning anymore.
The one time that he beat me, it was because he went hardcore mode and like would not let me win, but I still won. And
all I know is I don't know none of the characters' names, and I'm gonna commentate the shit out of this. And it's
Cowboy Man.
It's gonna be great.
Monkey Boy.
Monkey Boy goes flying across on the cowboy.
Oh, he did.
Way more than that. Don't worry.
You got flying robot lady? Oh man. No. I mean, I'm totally down for that. Just playing
it's Iron Woman.
Iron Woman. She's
we're going to have to find that one video, by the way.
Roberta Downey Jr.
Roberto Downs Jr.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have to find a video for you of the rip-off universe. There's a guy that does YouTube Shorts.
Oh my God, he's freaking hilarious.
It's amazing.
I can't even remember all of them, but he does Marvel, and it's great. Like,
what? Don't worry, we'll tell later.
So, the next one that we've got on here, on the list, we don't have it like a trailer for it, just because it's Elder Scrolls. They have a new one for Elder Scrolls Online. It's called High Isle. It's all new content. They got a few things that they're going to be doing. New companions, new events.
Companions are good. That game, I feel almost every MMO needs companions.
Elder Scrolls 6 though.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Elder Scrolls Online.
I'm tired of EOS. Like, I get it. It's making money.
ESO.
Whatever.
I still play it some.
Go.
I used to play it more. I play it some still.
Yeah,
I think every MMO needs this though. This what they introduced is companions.
No, they needed it. It needs to stop being a thing, and they can work
other
on a
MMOs
new one all together.
They can work on Elder Scrolls 6.
That's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of these companies just taking a game and like, all right, made it. Here's a special edition one. Here's the anniversary one. Here's the Game of the Year one. Here's the re-release of the remastered of the special edition of the Game of the Year.
You can get Skyrim.
So Skyrim, I understand.
No, I don't.
No, Skyrim, I'm saying I agree with you.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, but Elder Scrolls Online is different because
no, they are. Because you know what they could have done? Because they remade Skyrim so many times, and then they released the Morrowind content for Elder Scrolls Online. Instead of doing that, stop remaking the same damn shitty game over and over again, and release like the games that everyone wants to see remade, like Morrowind, and re-release that and remake that, or put the time and energy into Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, and let's move on and get new fucking games out.
So the thing is, though, ZeniMax Studios is its own entity, and it runs off its own budget, and that doesn't come out of Bethesda's money. Everything that ESO makes.
Bethesda owns that license to the game. They can just be like, no.
But ZeniMax Studios is making Bethesda money. So, Elder Scrolls Online is helping fund their future games.
A better version of the game, or just stop and then just put money into something else. I hate Elder Scrolls.
Elder
it
Scrolls
was a good game. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't need to be a thing no more. It's
Elder
like
Scrolls
World of
Online
Warcraft.
is an MMO, though.
It gets old.
Not for a lot of people. There's still... World of Warcraft has still got a very high concurrent player base at the moment.
Damn, because they do all that classic
and then Final
stuff.
Fantasy 14. It's another one. It's another MMO. It's just the same as all the others.
It's once again, the downfall of video game. Let's play the same damn shit over and over again for years.
See, I feel like that if
is it
anything,
out of or is it just a new mechanic of the same game?
Well, no, all the DLCs are entirely new maps, like huge areas.
Is it a new game or is it just a new mechanic of the same game?
It's not a new mechanic. It's a new
It's
area.
Not a new game either, though.
It's a new area, same game.
Right. It's not a new game. You are literally selling me the same shit over and over again in a different wrapping.
It's pretty, and it's next to the water.
You literally shit in this cardboard box and then sold it to me, and then shit in this one and sold that one to me.
The other side of it, though, is it's like, here, let's go for Destiny. MMOs, you spend time grinding for gear and guns or whatever you want to call it, anything. So if you made a new game every time instead of making additions, you would have to start that over. I've spent almost 800 hours in Destiny. I do not want to start another 800 hours into new content.
But you told me that Raft I should.
Because why would I want to start over?
Stop playing video games altogether because they're going to come out new games?
I would. Well, see, what I won't do is I won't buy a Destiny 3 right now because I have money and time involved in Destiny 2. When they can just
always going to have that though.
You literally said to me the other day because I said Raft.
So
I really want to play
how many hours you got in Arc?
That one, because that's a different type of game.
But your second one's coming out. But
well, no, here's a difference.
How much time and money did you put in Arc?
Well, here's a difference.
There's no difference.
No, as much, not as much time.
Destiny was that you put so much time and money into it, and you don't want to buy the next one. So Arc, how much time and money did you put in?
Because it is a different game. Because I'll tell you why. It took me about 300 hours of that game to finally get a good set of gear that you have to grind for.
Guys, eventually we're gonna get to the next game.
Yes, maybe. It took me almost 300 hours to get my first set of good gear.
Right.
That I will have to spend another 300 hours in a different game just to get started. I've at 500 hours in Destiny 2, just a rough guesstimate. I finally got to the point where I feel like I don't have to spend a lot of time grinding every week to get to where I want.
Right, but you're willing to buy Arc 2 for the same reason that you won't buy.
Because Arc you can get from the beginning to the end of a story in a game within 20 hours to 30 hours.
Have we though?
Yeah, you can. We choose not to.
If you can, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're choosing to put that much time and effort into it.
Because it's a different style of game. That's what an MMO is, mass multiplayer online.
I understand,
usually going to start off with
why
like
not
time
be able to
commitment.
put more stuff out for people who can still play online and still do the MMO portion of it, but not want to put 800 hours into a game. You're choosing to put 800 hours. You don't have to. So your argument is that you don't want a new game.
Right.
I do.
And most people don't that play MMOs.
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people who
because you don't
on games. I know people who were. I lost my job and almost got divorced playing WoW. Who are like, I'm tired of WoW.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of players, and that's why like Telltale Games. Telltale Games is a whole different genre that we really don't play much of. It's a different player base. It's not going to be something.
They come out with new games though.
We have a friend who is major into World of Warcraft and says he doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
but that's your choice.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
the only downfall.
New stuff. Like, give me something new. Like, literally, we are not getting good games. Like, name the last like amazing, hands down, blow your mind game. Like that. Really, like when you was playing it, you hit a point in the game, you was like, oh fuck, this is amazing.
Doom and Doom 2, the new one.
Like that really
Doom
like,
Eternal.
blew your mind.
Doom, the first Doom, 2016 Doom was very, very good.
The last game that blew my mind, like hardcore blew my mind, was BioShock.
That was that one, and the Mass Effect 2.
No,
those were good for me.
BioShock had the biggest twist out of nowhere that you didn't see coming until he finally said it, and you're like, "Holy fuck!" And I instantly replayed that game. Like, not like
would you kindly?
Not like, oh, I'm gonna play this game in like 2 weeks. Like, I literally beat it, new game, and ran through the entire game and realized how many times he said it. Like, when was like I guess Last of Us almost had that too at the end of that game. Like, but we're not getting those games no more. Before that, you would get those games all the damn time, and now it's just kind of like, meh.
It's look over quality.
Yeah.
You can do Undertale. Undertale is one of those 8-bit looking games, and I will play that over and over because it's a really, really good game, but it looks like shit.
Yeah. I get people want to play Elder Scrolls Online, but, like, it's not new. You're not giving me anything great. And, like, to be like, well, I don't, it's still a big, huge game and people like playing it. Yeah, but it's literally my problem with Assassin's Creed. It became a cookie-cutter game every year that they could release to get money.
It became a Call of Duty.
Yeah,
one came out every year.
And that's why when I see the part is you're not going to ever from today on you're never going to get exactly that experience again. Unfortunately,
not do like a Dark Brotherhood and stop it, not have it be Elder Scrolls Online, but have a Dark Brotherhood Online that has nothing to do with Elder Scrolls Online, and have it be a totally new game, new mechanics, new areas, and everything. That's not.
Because the whole reason why you haven't had that experience since then, and the reason why it's never going to happen again exactly like this.
I think it is going to happen again.
Hopefully, but I think unless something changes with the current model of video games, is because it got turned into a business, much more of a business as time went on.
No,
a lot of eyes turned to the idea that video games can make money when mobile games like, Angry Birds started making tons of money on mobile, and then other games like Fortnite started doing the season passes and skins and stuff like that. I feel like that's when a lot of the entertainment industry turned their eyes and like, oh, we can make money on something besides TV shows and movies now. It's a new form of entertainment.
Elder Scrolls Online was going to make
it is. Look, I didn't even play with the little thing the whole time. I enjoyed Elder Scrolls Online. I had no problem with it, but like, give me something new finally. Like, stop giving me Skyrim.
I think because
Elder Scrolls, all the different versions is Skyrim over and over again.
I think it's because you have to put so much time into it because, like,
you're talking to the wrong person because I would play an RPG by myself for hours. I max leveled every single character, every single spirit in Blue Dragon to get the achievement.
But that's the problem though. There's content in some of those games because, like, Elder Scrolls Online, we'll just say like let's go from some of the DLCs they had. Say DLC A, the first DLC. It had something outside of the original vanilla game that you can play. Or let's just do Final Fantasy. It's one I know better. Final Fantasy 14. You've got all the DLCs they've had. Once you level up to that point and get to that next area, it is a whole new game. You get new combos to your character. You get new armor sets. You get new looks, new classes, new
that's better
content.
Than what Elder Scrolls is doing, really.
Elder Scrolls, not every DLC, but so far, like the last one, Morrowind. Let's go for Morrowind. There was a new class introduced with that, a whole new area, and then reworks to a lot of the types of abilities they have. Stuff like they do change things, and the amount of time you would put into that to finish that content would be hundreds of hours. but it's the MMO style where you
but
have to commit time.
Hours into this shit. They're putting hundreds of hours into this shit. I'm going to put hundreds of hours into games regardless.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that if they came out with Super Mario 2, like RPG 2, I will physically do terrible, terrible things to that game for years. I still play the original Super Mario RPG to this day all the time. Like, I will put the hours in a game. I don't care, but I want new shit. You keep giving me the same thing, gift wrapped a different way. I'm not going to buy it no more.
So Diablo 4.
Diablo 4.
The next one.
If it's not new, guess what? I'm going to buy this one, and we'll never buy another Diablo game if it's not new.
I just think, last thing, I just think that... Shut up, Amber. Give us a second. You can cut this all out if you want.
No, not streaming.
But the only 2 people watching ours.
There's only 1 people watching.
Oh shit.
No, I'm still watching.
That's just one on my butt.
It wasn't playing for mine. Refresh. Anyways, I think the problem is that the video game industry right now enjoys where it's at, and things can change. But right now, within the next set of couple of years, unless you want to get into the indie games and things that aren't mainstream, you won't be enjoying anything that comes out. Your attitude's
why it's not changing. You are literally the person you're talking about. I'm buying one game. I put this many hours into it. I don't want to buy a new one yet. So they know they can just keep pumping things in that one single game.
But you're also the person that told me that I should just restart on Raft because that's the whole point of those.
That's it, because it's a very different game. When you have a time gate.
I'm so sorry.
When you are time gated to having content unlocked to where you need to put hundreds of hours into it before you can even get to the next tier of content, why do you want to start that over whenever you can play a Raft game and you can speed run that shit in like 5 hours? That's a whole different amount of time.
Whole boat, and it's good boat.
Yeah, then keep playing it. Now that is a true example of no new content. There's no DLC, nothing that comes out, some updates, but.
Speaking of updates and stuff like that, Diablo 4.
So anyways, Diablo 4.
They made an announcement.
Scrubs needs to go down.
Now, my thing is, I'm okay if they bring you hold up. I'm okay if they do bring out new games. I'm just telling you the reason why people won't work with MMOs.
Just, the way you're talking about Destiny is exactly why they won't
good.
ever build new things.
Epic game.
All right. So, anyways, Diablo 4. What's Diablo 4 about?
Diablo 4. So this trailer here, they've already announced they were going to have 5 classes starting out for it. Well, they were only going to have 5. They're not going to add any more. The 5th one and the final one is going to be the Necromancer. So they had the trailer there, and they had the little bit of a gameplay trailer here. I think it looks pretty good. Like, it definitely has that like much needed upgrade from Diablo 3. Like, I think it looks more realistic. So I can't wait. I played Diablo 3 way too much. Custom characterization, that's a new thing. You can actually like play through and make your character look different.
I mean, you were pretty much stuck with. I mean, every Diablo was pretty much stuck with what you looked like minus your armor.
Male or female. So I think it looks pretty cool. If it's as good as Diablo 3, Diablo 2, and all that stuff, I will put in the hours that I put in before.
All I hope is it doesn't get so
that Chris Freeman gets to play as the wizard. Yes, of course.
No, fuck you. Is that it doesn't get so clicky, hyper, fast killing style game where in Diablo 3 I had builds with my Demon Hunter where I could kill everything before it even came on my screen. And that was the whole point of running Greater Rifts like to the highest level until you couldn't do that anymore. That's what I don't want this to devolve into.
I like the open world concept. I not really look like Diablo 3 really hurt me by just having like a game over.
Yeah.
Yep. Here's your thumbs up. Game over. We got DLC. It kind of give you a little bit more, but it's still not gonna be that great.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
The only point to playing that game is seasoned and then just doing the same shit over and over.
Well, you had what was the DLC for it?
I mean
I can't remember.
Reaper of Souls.
Yeah.
Reaper of Souls. That ending, like when you've defeated him, I hated it so much, and I did it so often because you would get drops and stuff from it. It was literally him just going and then like just dying, and I was like, cool. I'm sitting here for like 2 minutes watching this thing just writhe and die. It's like, I just want my loot. What did you drop for me so I can do it all over again in the next 2 minutes? But
like that's Path of Exile is starting to kind of become that way as well. But Path of Exile has done very good at filling a hole that Diablo has left. So I hope that it follows that path more, where you get a lot more build. It won't be as extensive as that game, but
you do have new stuff that you can do in it, though.
Yeah.
So you do have a shared world, like it just showed on there. You have like different world events that happen, so you can either solo it or do it with a group. And then they also have PvP. So
see how long it's taken to kill stuff in the trailer? Like, that's fine. I hope it stays that way. Like,
I mean, they're probably like a lower level.
I know, but I want it to be more than just, like I said, a click fest of like kill things faster than they appear on your screen.
I also really wanted to be where you can run through it single player, like not easily, but that was what was nice about the first Diablos. Was like playing it through single player was great. It wasn't like impossible. Like Diablo 3 felt very impossible at a certain point where it was like, oh, I can't do this alone no more.
Unless I want to go back and like farm the same boss over and over for your gear.
So I hope they kind of bring some of that stuff back. And like I said, Diablo 1 and 2, like the cutscenes, the end credits, like everything that was about that game, like all the cutscenes besides the gameplay was great. Diablo 3 was okay, and then it just...
Well, that's why Blizzard cutscenes are like the best. Blizzard cutscenes were at least the best in the entire industry, and I know Diablo 4's trailer was amazing, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I just feel like if they fix that one thing about it to me, where they made more customization options for your builds, where you weren't forced to go with this build and this armor set, and make it to where everything didn't die so fast, and that was the only goal. Like, I think it'll be a better game already.
Yeah. So the next one they have, there's no trailer or anything
Elder
to
Scrolls
it.
Online?
No. God, no.
Let's start that over again.
I'm not going to play that game just because of this conversation. So, no. There was a new update for Sea of Thieves Season 7. You do get to, like, customize your cabin now, which is really cool. And if you have a certain setup that you like on your ship, you can actually save it.
I still can't believe how much into, like, Sims you are.
I love The Sims, and I love Sea of Thieves.
I know. I don't mind Sea of Thieves, but, like, you're like, I can customize my cabin. I'm going to lock the doors and not let them out until they die.
Or take the ladder out of the pool.
That's the one. But no, I haven't done that since Sims 2. There's been 2 more after that. I haven't done that.
Yet. This one doesn't have cheat codes, so it's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure you locked one of your Sims in a closet, didn't you? I think I remember
they were
that.
trapped in the closet, not locked.
Or it was a small room, so I would
come out
bullshit.
of the closet.
If you remember, they had that vampire one or whatever where I was trying to seduce the guy, and I went over to his house for the first time, and she literally walks in the door, and he lives in this like desert area.
He's just like, whoa.
No, she sits on the couch and sits next to him, and he's watching TV, and he literally just like gets up, slowly walks to the front door.
No reason for this.
No reason whatsoever. No prompting of anything. She literally just got there. He opened the door for her. She's like, thanks. And they both go sit on the couch. And then he just gets up, slowly walks over to the front door, opens it, takes one step out, and then books it and leaves the house. And she's sitting there on the couch just like...
He never comes back. Like,
well,
and when you go to work, you can just take your car, like you just disappear at the end of the road or whatever.
No, he just ran. Ran. And I think it's because, like, she finally told him, like, before she went over that she was a vampire, and he was like, But no, Sea of Thieves coming out with Season 7. I think it looks really cool now that you can, like, customize your cabin.
See, now this is one thing.
Customization.
One thing I think nobody can argue with is a problem with, like, a game. Sea of Thieves you paid for once, and you can get it on sale for $20, and everything has been free so far. You can pay for Season Pass if you want the skins or whatever, but everything has been free since then. That is a nice model, and it's very difficult to do. The only reason they can is because Microsoft owns it.
And then in October, this is not like, I mean, it's a huge deal for what it is, but it's not like a new game. Persona 3, 4, and 5 are going to be on Game Pass in October. So
Game Pass is like taking over the world currently.
I think everything that came on here was going to be on Game Pass. So
I think Game Pass is a neat idea. I just really am afraid of like everything is going to be behind some kind of subscription service in the future.
Yeah.
You're never going to own it.
If they do one simple thing, the entire past catalog be available for all systems.
Yeah.
I will pay buku money to be able to play every single PlayStation 1 to 5 game through a subscription or Xbox game to Xbox Series. Like, just give me all the games. I know you got to get licensed and stuff, but why can't you just throw them a few dollars to get the license back?
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
So 3, 4, and 5 are going to be new on there, so if you've never played them, you're going to be able to now. The next one that they had was Starfield. So I don't know how I feel about it. Like, here's the trailer with it.
Well, you haven't played any Elder Scrolls games, so you don't get to weigh in.
Skyrim.
Let's talk about.
You played Skyrim for like 10 minutes until you got killed by a moose.
Yes, you are right. I also
You
have
quit.
friends who have played it.
So what's gonna be really good about this game is when they make Starfield online.
SFO.
And basically, they're just gonna release new planets each time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Starfield Online Mars.
I already hate you,
Starfield's
Starfield.
Online Neptune. Starfield's Online Venus.
Jupiter. You
You've
got to
already
get that
seen
one.
all this? No.
Uranus. Just an asshole.
This looks like a sphincter.
I'm really excited about this game. Like, no joke. Like, I was excited when they just first announced it. It was just like, here's a satellite floating in space.
Yeah.
Starfield.
I was
like, oh my god.
I was very confused because it's not Bethesda-like, but I was like, you know what? Let's try this.
It is very much Bethesda-like now. Like,
Prey made it.
how you can like go through and customize your ship, customize your base. So I'm hoping they do more than what they did with Fallout, where it's like you can build your villages up, your towns, and it's just like.
Or better than Skyrim, where it was like Hearthstone and you can build build a house.
And like Fallout 4 was terrible. Hey, your city's under attack. Your encampment's under attack. It's under attack. Nothing ever happened to it. It was never worth any damn. I got a person who got like way into it and like built it out and like really cared about the people living in it. I was like, so I'm hoping like with the ship building and the base building, like there's gonna be some strategy to it where like you're building out to really defend it, and there's a reason why you need to defend it, not just because it's just something else to do in the game. But there's no like Fallout 4, there's no reason to like build encampments because even if they attacked it, there's nothing negative that happened to you. They died, maybe, but it was just there. But I'm so excited about this game.
Well, it says that there's over 1,000 planets
No
that you
Man's
can.
Sky should have been.
Yes, they have like over 1,000 planets that you can go through. There's like 30 to 40 hours of campaign. So then you've got other stuff. Yeah, you have spaceship battles, and then like in the video here, at one point he says like there's over 1,000 planets you can visit. The story is like 30 to 40 hours long. It may be the largest game that they have done as far as like how big it is. And you can be anything from a space chef to a pirate fighting warrior mech.
So you're gonna be a space.
I'm
baker?
absolutely gonna be a space baker.
I think what they're trying to do right
I'm
now.
land on each planet and be like baked goods.
I think what they're trying to do with Starfield is cut into the void that No Man's Sky, Star Citizen, Elite and Dangerous, all of those. There's so many gaps in like the sci-fi genre of like good games, which there's not very many. I think they're going to capitalize on it. If they do well, they're going to get a lot of people interested in it. I just am very tentative until we see more about this game because knowing that it's the same engine they use for forever, I want it to be good, but I hope it's good.
Well, like what I was worried about with Doom, I'm not too worried about with this. So when Bethesda was doing Doom, I was like, man, Rage was a really terrible first-person shooter. And they're like, we're going to do Doom. I was like, oh, they're going to screw it up so bad. And they did such an amazing job with Doom and Doom 2. So, like, that part I'm not too worried about anymore. What I'm worried about is the stuff that they're bringing. Like I said, all the customization and, like, are they going to bring like I said, my same problem with the online. Are they just going to bring DLC out that's just flair and not really anything important? Like, I would rather you not come out with the DLC, make a great game, and then have another great game to follow it up instead of waiting 13, 14, 15. How long has this been out? I mean, I worked at Best Buy when it came out, so...
Elder Scrolls Online?
It had to be before 2014.
I'm not sure. I was thinking 2013, but I don't know.
It wasn't that.
Yeah, because I think she was there, too, when Elder Scrolls came out. She left, I think, in 2013.
No, I was wrong. No, Elder Scrolls...
You left before me, didn't you?
Elder Scrolls Online...
No.
Elder Scrolls Online came out April 4th, 2014.
I left February 2014.
So it came out right when I left.
Yeah. But that's whenever ESO came out.
No more ESO. No.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want us to have this game for 8 years, 9 years. Like, that's more than enough time to come out with a sequel or just cancel this game and work on a new project altogether. Like, I really hope it's going to be good, but I have a lot of fear about Bethesda. Basically, ever since Fallout 4 came out, and
for the same reason
Fallout
I mentioned
6.
earlier, business models.
I know, but fuck that.
They're going to make their money. That's the problem now.
Yeah, but you know what? I would buy a $60 game every year if you took 4 years to make it and it was a new game.
But you wouldn't be a whale and spend $10,000 on a game because of stupid monetization, like illegal monetization.
No, but they did it with, like Elder Scrolls, but Oblivion. Shivering Islands was one of the best DLCs ever
Yes,
made.
I've told Amber my favorite DLC of all time.
Like a full another Elder Scrolls game altogether.
The first time I played Oblivion was after everything had out, got the Game of the Year edition. I was like level, 8 or 9. Well, I was like at level 8 or 9, and I immediately went to the Shivering Isles. I had no idea what I was doing. I played like 30 hours of that, and I had no idea that wasn't the game. It was like amazing.
And then even like Fallout 3 had great DLC. Like Fallout 3's DLC was amazing.
Fallout 3 is considered like the best Fallout of all time.
And then Fallout 4 came out, and it was still good, and the DLC was still good, but then Fallout 36 came out. And that's a turn up game. They're not getting as bad as Elder Scrolls Online, but you see it going that way.
And that's the way the whole industry is going. I don't know how to change it either because of games like
playing those games.
I'm not the only person. That's a problem. But like games like I love Star Wars.
It starts with you, Nathan. It starts with you.
Games like Star Wars, Galaxy of Heroes. I love Star Wars. I tried playing that game. The game was fun enough, but when I realized to even be enjoying the game at all, or even $2,000 was the minimum for that game. And there are what they call Krakens now. There's no longer whales. The top is the Krakens that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a mobile game. And I cannot believe that. I can't wrap my head around that. You have that much money anyways to spend on a game, but like that's why these stupid companies are capitalizing on those styles of games, and they're gonna come to the computers and consoles and stupid. Are we going to go to Outpost, by the way? Do you have Outpost on here? I told you to put it on here. We'll talk about it because you kind of mentioned a few things. Strategy. Nope, the one that was a strategy game, but we'll talk about it later.
So we got like 2 more.
Okay, well, you didn't have it on here, but you mentioned a couple things earlier, Matt, that like this will actually scratch your itch, I think, for some stuff. So,
yeah.
So that was the end of Microsoft's. Then the last one that was on there, which actually was a pretty good show, was the PC gaming show. There were a couple of different games on there. One of them was Half-Life Alyx, which I think is the closest thing.
We get the old school RuneScape remake.
Yeah, the closest thing you're gonna get to Half-Life 3 is the Half-Life Alyx. It even shows like the G-Man from Half-Life and everything. And they mentioned Gordon. I know. There's that. I think
I
it looks.
don't even want to buy it because of.
It's a VR game and it looks really good for a VR game.
So I'm not gonna buy it.
Okay. Well,
I think that this is the best you're ever going to get from Valve because they are never going to do Half-Life 3, but I feel like they absolutely know what they're doing. I think the actual reason they're doing this is because they waited so long and people want it so bad. They know no matter how good they make this game, the general public will shit on it.
Just don't make it. Look, we're never making another Half-Life game. I'll be okay with that announcement, but don't just keep toying us along. Like, it makes me more mad that you have another Half-Life game coming out and it's not Half-Life 3. Like, now you're just being like, got you!
Yeah.
It's Final Fantasy 7 all over again. Let's just smack Half-Life on it. Everyone's gonna buy it.
Now, as far as the games go, though, that Half-Life Alyx has been the best VR game ever made to date currently. Most people agree that it's very, very good.
It might be,
but
they smacked Half-Life on it, so therefore I don't really give a shit. Like, literally, that's my problem with Final Fantasy 7 right now. It's like, they could have made all that game in one game.
But you still have to admit that Final Fantasy 7 is not the greatest of games either.
But it is everybody's favorite,
right.
Like the big number.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the current new remake of Final Fantasy 7 is not that good. Half-Life Alyx is good. It just you wish they had a different name on it.
They could just named it Alex, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but see, I think what they're doing is they know that they can't make a Half-Life 3, but they know people want it, so they're trying to get around it, and not everybody's gonna like it.
It says Half-Life, and they know that people's gonna pay for it.
Exactly, because it is skirting around, and it is telling the story.
I haven't bought most of them.
It is telling the story of the Half-Life universe after Half-Life 2. It is telling what's happened and what's happening, so it is a continuation.
Half-Life Alyx is coming out for 2022.
It could have been Orange Box Alex, and I would have still bought it.
This
The
one
big
I
orange
think
box.
is a really cool one. It's nothing major. I think it's only going to be like $15, but it's called Agent 64. Spies Never Die.
Should have been Agent 69.
So you're gonna see why they call it Agent 64 when you watch this. It looks dead up like GoldenEye.
It is gold. It is golden.
Yeah, like the guns and everything in
The
it
sound
are
effects.
exactly like it.
Aren't they supposed to be redoing like a HD version of GoldenEye? Like someone, it's not like a legit thing. Like someone's like making it themselves.
I know that they like all of the 64 games that they're coming out with on the Switch. They've now made it to where they're doing some like tracing and stuff like that to make them look better. But that's every 64 game. That's
Right,
coming
like
out.
this one, like I think is like someone literally is like doing it themselves, paying for it, making it, and like
There
literally
might
putting
be,
like
yeah.
it looks like a brand new modern
That's like,
generation graphic game of GoldenEye.
I'd be
It's
totally
like
down with that.
Ocarina of Time. They did that. They remade lots of parts of it in Unreal Engine.
Unreal, yeah.
And there's another one they did that with recently.
I think this looks cool. I'd be totally willing to play it because I love GoldenEye 64.
God, I remember when we played it. You hooked your 64 up, and I was just there. I was like, oh God, I can't remember how. And all I just heard from her was like.
There's even a part in this where they have like a remote mine and they stick it on the wall and it goes beep beep, and I was like, it's exactly the same. So I think that's gonna be really cool. And the last one on here is called Deceive Inc., which, if you've ever played Prop Hunt, it's where you can turn into things and like move around as them. So this is Prop Hunt with spies. So you can actually run around, change into things, and your goal is to get to the end and like meet your objective before the other spies do. So I think it's gonna look really cool. But that was really all that E3 had this year. I think a lot of it was a lot of indie games and stuff. Like not a lot of really big name games. You had Starfield. God, Diablo 4 was just barely mentioned in there. I think that's really about it.
I mean, you're gonna have stuff like, you know, Overwatch 2 and stuff to be huge and things, but yeah. But
Even then. I don't know. I
they
think
showed a screenshot of The Last of Us 2 multiplayer,
yes.
but it was just like a picture. It was like an art,
Yeah.
like a
Why would you even do that game with multiplayer? Like, are you talking about co-op or like PvP?
multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
It wouldn't be bad. You can have like fireflies against stuff. And, like it would work out.
You
I
also
guess.
have they showed off the show that they're doing on HBO.
Yeah.
Which cool. I'd like to see it. HBO seems to do things.
If they
fairly
start
well.
taking video games more seriously, I'm perfectly fine with creating more content. It's like,
What game that wasn't mentioned that you want to see more made? Even if it's not one that's actually getting made. Like, what game, if you had to pick one right now, that you would want to see? Like, what's your, like, if I had a dying wish to make this game happen, what game?
while she's thinking, I'll tell you one I wish they did make was Modern Warfare 2 remake. Let it die. I played the shit out of Modern Warfare 2.
They
But I
played
don't want
that
to trade
trailer and I was ready to riot across the street.
And you know what's really sad? The base price for the game is $70.
Well, the big thing that they also did at E3 was they were like, see your favorite characters, this person, and Ghost is back. It's like,
You dead!
woohoo, it's Modern Warfare 2. It's the biggest one.
Oh, he died.
No, not yet. Oh, maybe he did. Yep, he died. Well,
Knew better.
so guess we're just gonna go to this screen now.
If you can't see it, that's why.
Yeah, that one's already so long.
But we're not recording anymore. Yeah, we're froze.
No, this is recording, and it's recording this. So we're fine.
Hey!
There it goes.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep, it'll be on
We
there.
got this now.
Hold on, you'll see. Like I said, we're on a little time frame. There you go, Steve. Here it is. But no, I think if I could see any game whatsoever,
Remade, made, whatever you want.
if remade, like I really don't know
Let's
if
do
remade.
remake, and then like literally like a brand new game. Even if it's like, like you know, like Alan Wake 2 is like a new one that's coming out you really want to see. But like for me, I really want to see like BioShock 4 finally come out. Like I want to see what that is. And they're making it. I want to see it.
Yeah.
But like I really want like a sequel to. I can't think again. There's a PS2 game called Headhunter.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing, and it was like a really shitty game that I got from Blockbuster one day, and I played the shit out of it. I loved it. I want that. I want a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 3.
You know what I want? That they're never gonna make, but it left on a damn cliffhanger, and I hate it. Was Star Wars Republic Commando. I want a remake or a continuation. Could have just left off. I mean, it's not the
Power Battles on PlayStation 2 have been a great movie.
yeah. I would say remake. I don't know. So far almost every remake I've not enjoyed except like Mass Effect. That was like they didn't do a lot. They didn't mess up anything. They just prettied up a little bit. Fine, but
Super Mario RPG 2.
That one would be on my list as a new game, like a continuation.
New Paper Mario, like 1,000-Year Door, but not like the others.
The last one wasn't bad. The
PS
paper.
one?
No, the paper one that was on.
Origami King.
Oh yeah,
Switch.
Origami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Origami King. Yeah, it was on Switch, wasn't it? Where you
That's
fold the
in
table
so.
or scissors and stuff.
Yeah. I think I would like them to redo Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the bullshittiest game I've ever played in my life.
I want them to redo Kingdom Hearts 1, and that damn ship between worlds is the only reason I will never play that game again because it was so god.
2 was fine when it came to that. Like, they did a little bit better on it. 3 was just like, you all...
I couldn't get into 3.
It just slammed into you. It's like, the darkness will not prevail. Only light will prevail. Blah,
I
blah,
needed a
blah.
pack of razor blades to play that game.
It was so bad. Like,
And even the villain at the end just like turned good.
well, everyone talks about it. Like, they're like, oh, it's so good. It's great. It's like, you all had like how many years to make that? And they switched it up because Disney got the rights to Pixar and Star Wars. And they were like,
Toy
oh, we might
Story
do
and
Star
Star
Wars
Wars,
or something with it. But they didn't. They ended up doing Toy Story, which
Which
whatever.
is fine. Yeah, that's great. But
The story was just not very good. It did no continuation to the story. And they did just like they do in
Elder Scrolls Online.
no, there was a show that we just recently watched. Like, if you don't watch them die, they're not dead.
That's all of Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, that was right. That was Marvel. That was Doctor Strange. It did the same thing to where, like, it shows you going up against, like, or seeing all of these people from the old games, and you fight them, and then Zigbar is up on the top of this wall, and they're like, yeah, we'll get you, and he's like, don't feel like it, and he just backs up and falls off the wall. And I was like, you didn't see him die. He's not dead. And he ends up being a really big character and the main character, like, bad guy at the end. Spoilers, sorry, don't fucking care, it's stupid. Like, like, they finally show the main people at the very end, and they're like, look what we're gonna do. It's like, in like 20 years, I won't want to play it at that point. I'm so done with this. I don't need a 358 divided by 2. I don't need Birth by Sleep. I don't need all these mobile games. I want story. Kingdom
Now, I
Hearts
will
2
say-
is great.
there's reasons why the industry is going, like I said, the way it is for money. I still don't know why they can't make a good story, though. I do agree with that. A story,
Last of Us is probably,
a
Last
story
of Us
doesn't
and God of
cost.
War is probably the best like stories lately.
Because a good story doesn't cost you a dime. You have to have story writers
It
already.
does.
You have to have story
You
writers
gotta pay
already.
for the good ones.
Not as near as much as they're paying for many other parts of the game.
True.
But why is the story one of the cheaper aspects of a game? Why is that the one thing that's lacking in most things? Because Kingdom Hearts 3, I have learned a lot about Kingdom Hearts to try to catch up with it, and whenever she started playing, it didn't make any sense. I didn't like it. But mini games
It tries to be like Metal Gear Solid, where it has this really intricate plot, and you have to really play it and figure out the story and understand it. But then it falls short because it doesn't make a bit of any goddamn sense. Because all it is about the darkness. But then you had these games that were
Not the
on.
band.
Not the band. The band is amazing.
Dude, it would be so much better if it was about the darkness,
They
though.
just come out.
Yeah, and then you just, the boss battle is just, I'm gonna think I love you. You're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
You know, as tiny as it would be, the tiniest thing that would have made that game even like 1% better would have been like, what's the main bad guy's name? I forget. The old guy that fights at the end.
Oh, it has an X in it.
Whatever. Him.
Xehanort.
Xehanort, yeah. If he just literally didn't turn like, oh, I'm a good guy now just because I feel bad about what I did, that would have made the story even a tiny bit better. That makes no sense.
Yeah, but that's Disney, though.
I know
But
it's
that's
Disney,
the thing.
but that
At the
doesn't...
very end, you showed his past. you showed his past, and there was this other guy who was like the light, and he was the darkness, and he's like this big baddie the whole time. You're like, oh my god, we're never gonna be able to defeat this darkness. Samurai Man comes out of nowhere, and he's like, friend, remember the good days. Come back to me for the good old days. Yeah, you're right.
So basically, it was the sensei from Kung Pao.
Yes, exactly. No,
I implore you to reconsider.
Okay, exactly. I made that joke on the couch when I was playing. Like
I didn't know what it was yet.
He literally pops out of nowhere and he has this speech, and I looked at Nathan and I was like, I implore you to reconsider. Okay, and then it's just done, and I was like, we have been playing this game for hours. I've been waiting for this game for years, decades, and this is the bullshit ending that I get.
And you say that's Disney to an extent, but look at like
it's Square Enix too, though.
But look at like Beauty and the Beast. The bad guy died because he stayed bad. Good. It really that just left the most sour taste at the end of the game.
Well,
Even if the whole game that makes sense at least have a good ending to it, it wouldn't have a bad taste at the end as well.
In 2, though, you had storyline like the Beauty and the Beast. Like when you went there was bits and pieces where it moved into the story. They literally went to Tangled, they went to Toy Story, there were a couple of other places, and all it was just like, oh no, we've popped into this world, we gotta do something about it, let's do it, all right, Mickey, let's go. And like,
Yeah, on them there Hannah Montana cities.
Beach goddamn joking. Okie dokie, Mick, I'll see you later.
Mickey, who's at the door?
Not that one. The other one. Oh, Daffy. That one.
The black.
No.
The other game I want to see remade, though, PlayStation 1, Alondra. Amazing RPG. Great.
I don't know that one.
Never been like re-released, never been anything else. Like, remake it. It was such a good game.
There was one I remember on PlayStation 2 where it was an RPG, but it was just like you played a sitar, and like I was, because he was like this great bard, and he had to go and play for the king, and I botched it the first time, and I was like, I don't know how to play this game. I should probably learn how to play this.
You had to hit to make the...
Yes.
No
yes,
way.
there was.
Was it bad about that?
It was awful. I sucked at it, but I remember that game because it looked really cool, but I could never make it past that point.
I also want Guitar Hero to be re-released with all the
Oh
songs
my
from all the
God.
games.
Guitarsmith sucked. They needed to go.
Oh, the Rocksmith game?
Rocksmith, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like learn how to play the guitar.
That
for
was the
real.
next evolution, and just
Yeah, I don't want another evolution. I just literally want the Guitar Hero 2 guitar with literally the set list with Guitar Hero 1 all the way to the end.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah. Even you could even just add some more stuff to it and make it even better.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure.
Stuff
I really
that's
want
happened
Guitar
since then.
Hero 1, 2, and 3 set list. That's it. But whatever. I'll play the other ones too. But Guitar Hero 1 set list was amazing. I spent hours in Best Buy before I worked there playing the shit out of Guitar Hero. That was like, might as well just work here, and then I got paid to play it.
You know, it'd like be.
Yeah.
You know, it would be too powerful if it had Guitar Hero and then Rock Band and all the parts from each game, and then more modern music as well.
I'd be totally down for it. Make it happen.
Actually, Amber just really wants an orchestra hero.
Cello.
That's what Wii Music is. I had Wii Music. I was a conductor. That's fine.
Ooh, let's get Wii Sports
Amazing music. Fucking Wii bowling.
No, there's a GIF that we pass around at work all the time now, and it is of Wii Sports, and it's these two guys playing the tennis one, and they're like smacking like 100 mile an hour.
They're touching each other, but they're
That's
and it goes for like 30 seconds.
If someone says something, you know, hey, we need to look at, like, what do you do with this? Like, you need to look it up on the wiki page. We'll send that to be like, it's like, this is what we feel like right now. Oh, it's great. So that was E3. This year it was kind of an indie game extravaganza. Like, I thought it was good, but there was no really big like AAA titles that I really saw that I was like, oh my god, this is great. But we'll see. Nintendo didn't have one for them. Rumor has it is they're gonna have one on like the 28th or 29th of this month, and it's supposed to be a really, really big one. I hope.
Announce a new system. That's what it's gonna be.
I
New
really
system,
hope that that's not.
Breath of the Wild 2.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Probably a new Pokemon game because it's Nintendo.
Yeah, well, they announced a bunch of the new Pokemon. Smoliv, which is just all of that is small. What is it, Little Chungus or whatever, which is just a pig. Yeah. So there's supposed to be one like that. I will absolutely watch it just because I want to see if there's Breath of the Wild 2 information. I just want a date. I don't want to see anything else about it. I just want a date. Because I want to know when I'm going to be wasting a week of my life.
Don't worry about it. Because you know why? The best ones came when they took their time. Ocarina of Time was, what, 7 years between games?
It was so good.
Breath of the Wild was how many years between games?
A lot.
Not counting the DS games, because there's a few DS games.
Yeah. But...
Like from Skyward, what was it? Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild? Was the...
Skyward Sword was like early 2000s, maybe? I don't remember. Oh. Yes, that is absolutely what we pass around at work now. No, but the Nintendo one will come out. We'll probably do something on that, maybe. Apple had something. We'll probably have something like that.
Apple event. There was actually a lot to cover in that, and even Apple products, the Apple ecosystem. I want to cover that.
So we'll have something on that at some point here. For those of us who are new on Twitch, we do stream, or we have it up on YouTube every Tuesday. We will either stream on Saturdays or Sunday, depending on what our schedule is. But it's definitely going to be on the weekend when we do this. So different times as well, just of course depending again on the schedules. But we will let you know when the next one is. Don't know what the concept is going to be right now, because it could be like 4 or 5 different things.
I know what it's going to be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Elder Scrolls Online.
No.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online. I will say
Exactly,
it right now.
that's my whole point.
Not for the same reason.
The industry needs this.
I am done with this conversation. We will see you all next weekend. And again, check this out if you want to on YouTube. It is Nerding Out TV on YouTube as well. We do have another channel of podcasts. It's called Don't Split the Party. I don't know how much longer that one's going to be because it is a D&D game and we haven't played for quite some time. We'll see. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on us. Check out our Facebook page or check out our YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm going to whisper in your ear at night. Elder Scrolls Online.
And then you are going to get a bloody nose because I'm about to whap right out there.
I'll just like wrap it on a pillow real quick.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your night, and we will see you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.